Hello. I know you can't see me online. It's the background. Sorry. We'll get that fixed. Welcome everyone to the first annual college prep. Woo! So we're really excited that you guys are here because there's a lot to learn. School has already started. We're starting school right here, right now. So this college prep, bring out your notepad, bring out your iPad, bring out your pencils, your pens, because we're gonna give you guys a lot of good information. And we're gonna give you a lot of good information about academics and experience and things of that nature. So stay tuned for that. I just want to open us up with a prayer. Sorry for starting late again. I don't know if I said that to begin with. But Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day, and I thank you for waking us all up this morning and keeping us safe through the night and granting us the grace to walk in our destiny which you have created us for. Father God, I pray that this college prep workshop is edifying to your children and that they take heed to the instruction and the knowledge that we are giving them. Holy Spirit, please speak through us and allow us to reach whoever you have specifically for this information and these experiences. Um, Allow everything to run smoothly. For in Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. Now I'm going to introduce our our Ignite Youth leader, Toby Aloha. Woo, Toby!
Hi guys, thank you for coming, even though it's the usual faces. Oh, two new faces. Hi, my name is Toby. I am one of the leaders here at Jesus House. The youth leaders here at Jesus House. So today I decided I wanted to put on a little college prep for you because I got some questions before this about college. And I know that a lot of you are children of foreign parents, and so like your parents might not know a lot of how these things go. I know when I was growing up and applying for college, some things I just didn't know how to do, so I had to do it by myself. Or sometimes some people don't have parents that went to college or did it the traditional way. So this is just kind of an informational session for you to be able to understand the whole process of it, both community college and four-year college. And even if you want to go to military or anything like that, like these things still matter because at the end of the day, education is power, knowledge is power. So yeah, so let's get started. We have, firstly, we're gonna talk about the checklist. Next slide, please. You can't see me. Wow. Let me just step out. Okay, so we have the college application checklist. Let's start from like the first part. Technical difficulties. All right. So I'm going to read out a few of these, and then we're kind of going in that order with this whole presentation. Okay, so first things first, we can read this together to keep you guys engaged. So what's the first thing we have on the list? Make a school list. Okay, why is it important to make a school list? Does anybody want to answer? You don't have to get the mic, but yeah. Why is it important to make a school list? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can get a mic. Does anybody have answers? If not, I can just answer it for you. If not, I can just answer it for you. Okay, it's important to make a school list because you don't want to blindly apply to schools, right? If you're going to school, you want to go to a school that you like, yes or no? Yeah, you don't want to just go to a school like, oh, they're taking me just because of education. At the end of the day, this is the next 4 years of your life. For example, you're in high school right now. Did you really get to choose what high school you went to? Not really, right? Well, most of you didn't get to choose because it's something that's just right there. And the friends that you have, the things that you're studying, all make or break your experience. So it's the same thing with college. You want to make a school list because you want to make a list of places where you think, you might want to go to. Okay, the second one says, what does the second one say? College resume. Okay, then we have letters of recommendation, required personal statements, high school transcripts, campus visits, financial aids, and scholarships. So we're going to go down this line. So first, let's go to the next slide. First, let's talk about making a school list. Okay, so making a school list is very important. Why is that? Because when you're making a school list, you're able to put into your list the schools not just you want to go to or looks cool, but you're researching a whole bunch of things like, can I get into this school? Is it something that is it a school that's gonna accept me, or am I just wasting money because of my stats? Things like that. Like, do they still require SAT or SET? Have you guys taken SAT or ACTs? No, they don't really require it, but I know like some schools are still like they still accept it. And I'm gonna talk about that too. I feel like you guys should still take it, but if it's not required, I understand why you wouldn't. But if it is a good way to showcase how, good of a test taker you are or how good of a student you are, especially if your stats like your GPA and like your extracurricular activities are not good. So another reason why you need to make a school list is to also understand their location, the demographics, the campus life. How important is campus life? It's very important. You don't want to just go to a school where it's just a party school and then you're always distracted all the time. You want to go to a school where it's a mixture of social life and academic life. You want to make sure that you're making a school list to stay organized so you can keep track of like deadlines, required documents, et cetera, et cetera. So the way that you make a school list is by putting them into three categories. You have a safety school, a target school, and a reach school. Can anyone tell me what a safety school might be, or the definition for a safety school?
Top school, if you don't get to that school, like you have a school that you can go to.
Yeah, it's a easy school, like a place where a lot of everyone clap for him, yay. Okay, it's like a school where you usually score higher than the people who even go there. So, for example, what would be a safety school for you, Tolu?
Grand Canyon University.
Grand Canyon University. I don't. Where is that? Arizona. Okay, I know like even Arizona State is a safety school for a lot of people. Yeah, that's safety. If it's 80%, they accept 80% people. That's a safety school, right? If they accept 90% of people, I don't know if you should even be considering that, but it's definitely on the list. Okay, what about a target school? What's a target school? Tinu?
Like your top schools, like a school that's like out of reach, but you still have like the grades to at least get in. Like it's on the top of your list, but then again, like you still have your safety schools. But it's like a top school is like a school that you really want to go to.
Yeah, it's like this is my target. Thank you so much, Tinu. This is my target school. I know that my stats kind of match it, so I have a good chance of getting in. But just in case I don't, I still have a safety school. But that is your target. And then a reach school is pretty self-explanatory. It's a reach. Like Stanford is a reach for a lot of people because their acceptance rate is 4%. That's a reach. Like if it's 2%, like all these Ivy Leagues, those are reach schools. Like if that's a target school for somebody, that's wow. But it's usually a reach school. So with this, I want to go into like little breakout rooms where you guys can talk about like, breakout rooms, I know. Okay, but go into like talk with each other, amongst each other, like some school lists that you would like to go to and even why, like your majors. What kind of majors are you thinking about? What are your interests? Things like that. So I'm going to give y'all like 5 minutes to just kind of talk with each other because I kind of want to hear from you guys what, your ideas are so far. So cue the music. But yeah. Go ahead, y'all. Talk with each other. What would you guys? I'm gonna come around too.
I need. I need strength for the morning, peace when it's time. You're all I need to get through this test. I give you all of the glory. Faith never died. I ask you, will you see me? Am I too far gone? Have I lost myself? Will you see me? Ooh. Am I too far gone? Have I lost myself? Will you guide me? Oh. Waiting for a miracle to come, holding on to faith when I know I've been dragged through the dirt. All these lies they told me, will you help me see the truth? Oh, will you guide me where I'm at? Oh, will you see me here? Guide me where I'm at, watch over my steps. Guide me where I'm at, humble my steps. Am I too far gone? Have I lost myself? Will you see me? Ooh. Am I too far gone? Have I lost myself? Will you guide me?
Call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things.
It's resolved. Oh Lord, man, you got the whip when we ride. Overlook the path when we slide. Protect gang when we vibing. Leave it up to you, know you got it. I've been trying to pray more, trying to stay tapped in. I ain't even close to what I was back then. Going straight forward like the whip when it's back then. We don't even care if it's black tents. From white on fear when we locked in. All touch and agree, that's a mountain. Faith strong as a lion. What's prior to a God that still provide for ones who deny him? Oh Lord, man, you got the whip when we ride. Overlook the path when we slide. Protect gang when we vibing. Leave it up to you, know you got it. Oh Lord, man, you got the whip when we ride. Overlook the path when we slide. Protect gang when we vibing. Leave it up to you, know you got it.
Who fights the battles? Who stands before you? It's not meant for me to hold my ground. Give it up, lift the weight off my chest. Solid ground I am found. Seeking you, above all else. We stay riding and rolling on cruise. Stay tapped in, gotta stay tapped in. 10 toes from the enemy's tactics. Running for when you reap what you sow. Let the 99ers falling on you.
Oh Lord, man, you got the whip when we ride. Overlook the path when we slide. Protect gang when we vibing.
Are y'all ready? Are we rounding up our conversation? Okay, so let's settle back in. All right, so we just had a lot of conversation. I heard a lot of talk, so I should hear some volunteers into like why, what schools you're thinking about, why, and just talk a little bit about what you're gonna, what you're thinking about studying, because that definitely goes into play as to why you're choosing certain schools. So does anybody want to volunteer? Yeah, literally. Before you're voluntold. Oh, UI. Hey, girl. You just look like you have something to say. Your top schools or your reach or your safety, whatever, like schools that you're thinking about, like what you want to major in, because you're a senior, so you're getting there. So just give us some insight. Let's see where your head is at.
Majority of my top schools are UC, something like
Yeah, we can hear you.
UC Irvine, UC San Diego, a lot of UCs, and I'm planning on majoring in microbiology and immunology, or something with cellular biology, because I wanted to go into biotech.
You want to go into biotech? Okay, so that's just
like oncology.
An oncology. Oh, okay. Let's give her a little round of applause. Nice, nice. Okay. Love to hear it. Those are, and hopefully you've done some of your research into these schools, and a lot of UCs are very prestige. They are known for their STEM program, so it's good that you're aiming that high, and depending on your stats, which I'm sure are great, will determine how you'll get in and stuff like that. Does anybody else thinking about a CSU, like CSUs for either target or even reach schools? Kathy? Yes, you.
Oh, so I was thinking about CSU because they have a great nursing program. Yeah, but I'm also science.
You're also applying to what? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. You're neuroscience. Okay. So you sound like you've, done the research. It has a great nursing program. So if anybody's here is thinking about nursing, it's actually very important for you to do the research. Don't be like, oh, I'm just going here because they offer nursing. If they have a great nursing program, these things all fall into line as to like how you're going to get a job. Our parents say it does matter where you go to school. And that is not just like, oh, Harvard or Stanford or things like that determine that. No. But if the program is good and you're going to do well, that will also determine how fast you can get a job. There's one more thing that I also wanted to really emphasize on. And when I was talking with Casey over there, I was talking about demographics. Why would it be so important to understand a school's demographics? Oh, I didn't call him, but if you want to talk about what we talked about.
More to know about a school's demographics. Like where you want to live and stuff like that, and
where you want to live. Yeah, it really depends. Okay, also because of diversity. Right? If you're going to a majority like white school or, Asian and things like that, where are you going to feel like you're going to fit in? A lot of these schools are like that, but you have to make sure that they have at least a good representative of black students, right? Because a lot of you here are black. So that's what you're looking for. Do they have a program to help me as a black student or me as a Nigerian student? When I went to UC Irvine, I had a good, solid like group of Nigerians. The UCs actually are really good with that. They have like a group of Nigerian like student association, or they have like BSU and things like that. So you want to make sure that you're going to a school that has those things and it's actually prominent. And you're not just going to school unless it's going to be pretty miserable when you don't have anyone to relate with, you know, inside the classes and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, so we've covered why it's very important to make a school list. So let's move on to the next slide. Oh, we just talked about this. So safety school, we said, was a high chance of admissions. Target schools are usually for, like, you're admitted if, like, they have the same stats as you do or lower. And then reach schools are a lower chance of admission. Okay, so let's talk about a college resume. How many of you guys have resumes as high school students? All of you? Okay, how many of you have jobs? Okay, I mean, whether or not you have a job or you do, it's important to have a college resume. This is gonna help you keep track of, you know, all the activities that you're involved in. So it's not just for jobs, but it's also for college. And then as you get into college, you're able to update that. This is the most important time to start making your resume. It's not when you have 3 jobs. It's not when you have 5 jobs. It's not when you're well established. It's now that you actually have no experience. Because out of that, you're able to actually milk out what your skills are. How many of you guys are involved in school, like programs and things like that, or volunteer experiences? Yeah, you should be. If you go to this church, you should even have a volunteer experience, and that is actually working in church. If you work with like the media department, that is volunteer. To them, that is volunteer. To you, it might be like, well, I'm serving God, but that is a volunteer thing because you're working for your community. If you're in the youth, that is volunteer because you're doing other things. Like all the times when we, have Bible studies or we go out and we hand out like tracts and things like that. Those things are also part of volunteer. When you're gathering food and all that kind of stuff, those things are volunteer. So you should definitely be having those things in your resume. So your resume includes volunteer experiences. If you volunteer at a hospital, make sure you put that in there. Work experiences, if you're working for money, I mean, pretty obvious you should have that in there. Extracurriculars, like if you're in a club at school, if you're in BSU or you're in a dance club and you are a president or whatever, that's also a good thing to put on there. If you have any awards, maybe you've been on the not dean's list, the principal's list. That's something you should be putting on your college resume. And honor roll. Honor roll, yeah. So what a resume does is it provides a holistic and unique view to your application. It shows the college admissions team who you are, not just in school, but outside of school. It highlights your achievements and your experiences and how that speaks to you. Because when you're writing your essays, they're going to go back to your resumes and be like, oh, yeah, she did talk about being the president of a dance team. So I know she's good at leadership when she talks about this. I can see it in her resume. And then it also highlights your skills and your potential at the school. When you're applying to colleges, do you think they're just picking people like eeny, meeny, miny, mo? They're not doing that, right? They're saying, how can this person add to our values as a school? Is this person going to fall our hand? Like, are they going to make us look foolish and end up dropping out? Are they somebody with integrity who's going to make sure that, we keep on looking good? Or are we admitting someone who isn't really serious with their time? So those are things that you have to put into play. Are you able to zoom into the resume, the picture? If not, it's okay. But this is just an example. If you guys want more examples, I can also send it out to you if you want. But definitely start making them. All right. So this is a student, Jillian Strider, but she has here a bunch of stuff. So she volunteers soccer coach, and she writes about what she does. It says she's mentored 18 plus students. She's writing details of what she does. And what does this show? This shows her leadership skills because she put mentored. Mentoring is something that college actually wants to see. Do you mentor? Do you do things? Are you able to show that you're adding value to our schools, to students, and things like that? They want to see leadership skills. Said she was in student government. That's more leadership. It's not just about academics. I'm not just a smart kid. I don't just have a 4.5. I actually know how to step in where I'm needed. They want to be able to help people or have people come into their school who can add to the world, not just to their school, but to the world. And if you see like people who come out of prestige schools like Stanford, they just seem better. Like, it's just like when they talk about them in the news and they're like, what do they say? Stanford students, you know, heals somebody on the streets. Like, what does that have to do with anything? But, you know, because they want people to know that they went to Stanford and they're like, we got a Stanford student, you know, that kind of thing. So a lot of these colleges, although they're really looking out for themselves, they want to see how, like, you can add to the world and make them look better, you know, potentially. But, yeah, and then they have skills, like what kind of skills do you have, like communication. That's also emphasized through the things that they do. Problem solving, organization. In order for you to be mentoring people, you have to be organized, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then if you go down, they also talked about varsity soccer, how they were a captain for their soccer team. So if you play sports, that's a great thing to put on there. So do not limit yourself. Okay, so can we have the next slide where we talk about what else we need for our college applications? We have letter of recommendations. How many of you guys even knew that you needed a letter of recommendation? Oh, that's good. Okay. A lot of people don't know that. So have you started looking for who will write your letter of recommendations? Okay, good. Okay, so let's talk about why it's important. Letters of recommendation are important because they help your application stand out. They highlight your strengths in your academic world and also adding to the holistic perspective. So when we talk about holistic perspective, we're talking about everything. Like, we're talking about outside of academics, we're talking about your characteristics, your skills. We're talking about like are you a kind person? Are you smart, but are you kind, right? Things like that. So letters of recommendation speak to that because depending on who is writing it, they're able to speak to certain parts of you. So I know that when I was applying to, I can't speak for when I was applying to college because that was quite a bit ago. But now that I'm applying to medical school and I'm asking people to write me letters of recommendation, I know that they can. I asked my one of my professors, and she was able to speak to my academics because I did well in the class, and I was one of the few people who did really well in her class. But I also went to her office hours. I spoke with her. I talked to her about different things besides academics. So she can actually talk about, she is more well-rounded. Like, she's not just about academics. She's talking about what she wants to do as a doctor. She's diligent in coming and asking for help, things like that. Like, she's not just I'm a grade A student, but I don't talk to my teachers. So I know that she's able to write about those kind of things. And then I asked our pastor, Pastor Yemi, to write one for me. And what can he speak about for me? He can speak about my community service. So that goes into the next point, which is, who should I ask? Any professional that can attest to your skills, your achievements, your characteristics, and your characteristics. So, for example, your teachers, your counselor, they usually ask, honestly, depends on which school you're going to, but they usually ask for specific ones like your counselor. So your teachers, your counselor, your community leader. For those who go to church here, you can literally ask somebody from here to write you a letter of recommendation. Your mentor or whoever. I don't know if I can write one, but you can ask me. But another one is, when should I ask? You guys have already asked, so you guys know that now is the right time, but always give them a month in advance. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so now we're talking about personal statements. Oh, boy. How many of you have started your personal statements? How many of you started your essays, your PIQs, your Common App essay? Are you telling the truth? Oh, okay. No other hands? Only one? Somehow, have you at least started an outline? Okay. I mean, so even if you're not going to a 4-year, I'm not going to lie, and now is probably a good time to start writing too. Because if you're going to community college, you're going to end up writing anyways if you want to go to a 4-year. So start now. And the reason why I say this is because I went to a community college, but guess what I used? My essays from back then. I just revamped it. Like, so honestly, it gets harder as you go on because you're gonna find less time if you're going to community college. So just start now. Just outline if you can. If you're going to community college, oh, you're so lucky. Like, you don't have to write one, but it would be nice to get started now. So, Rejoice, did you want to talk about this slide real quick? Okay. She does. Okay, so Rejoice is gonna come up here and talk about personal statements. So let's give a round of applause for Rejoice. As many of you, some of you might not know, but she is a sophomore at UCLA. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I remember helping her also, like, with her personal statements, but she had really, really good points. So I just read them, but they were really good. So she's gonna give us some pointers.
Hey guys. Y'all are so annoying. Okay. So personal statements. Toby, how do you do this? Okay, anyways, basically, one thing you should really, really get for your personal statements is please try and be unique. My personal statement for the Common App was so overplayed. Like, everybody in their entire life has written about that, right? So when you want to write your personal statement, it's really important to think about, has someone said this before? Could this be twisted in a way that someone else has said this? And for the Common App, the Common App has one essay, right? And there's a bunch of prompts, but the one that a lot of people usually do is pick one topic of your choice, right? And write about how you did this, this, and that, right? So when I first approached that statement, Tolu, behave yourself. Okay. So when I first approached that topic, basically, I thought about, okay, there's a negative experience in my life, right? And I've changed, overcame, whatever. But in the end, when I wrote it, it was basically a sob story, right? It was oh, boo-hoo, this happened to me. I'm so sad. You should accept me because this happened to me, but I have good grades and stuff like that. But it's a personal statement doesn't have to be something sad. You can literally write about something that makes you happy, right? When I was coming to it, I was it has to be something that shows difficulty and challenges and trials and tribulations and all this, and that. But it literally does not. I saw a bunch of people writing about pillows. Somebody wrote about pencil shavings, but if you read it, you wouldn't know it was about pencil shavings. It's just a way, really tap into your inner creativeness. I know all of you have it. I know all of you are good writers. But really just think, what is one thing that you feel is really unique about yourself, right? With the Common App, it's obviously there are other prompts, but when you choose the one that's a free response, think what is something that I can write 650 words on about myself, right? And showcase how not only am I able to, maybe you want to talk about persevering, but don't do the cliche, here's problem, here's solution, here's how I'm better, right? When it's storytelling, you want to take us with you on that journey. So we want to feel what you felt. We want to feel the hardships. We want to feel dang, how could she ever overcome? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying make this a whole great grand story, but it's really think about it. Really think about it, because it's 650 words. Really think about it, right? And with the UCs, you have a lot more options to really showcase who you are. There's 8 prompts. You get 4 choices, right, of whatever you feel you can write about. Again, 350 words. Think about it, right? When you approach these, there's examples that UC puts up. They put up examples, right? So read those examples. Get familiar. Ask if you want to ask other people for their essays. I would have said ask me, but I kind of lost them. But you can read other people's. But again, like I wrote, it's important that you're not copying it, right? You can read it for inspiration. You can read how maybe they changed a few words. You can read how maybe, I don't know, you experience something similar to them, see how they wrote it. But when you are writing yours, you want to make sure without a doubt that you are not copying them, right? Inspiration is one thing, but don't go copying and pasting. That's, ridiculous. But, right, like I said, with the sob story, that sounds a little harsh, but it's kind of I know we all go through difficult things, and it's really easy to write about that. Like, it's really easy to write about a problem that we face, but I just don't know how I can emphasize this enough. Just please don't make it like a, this is so sad, like this happened to me, and this is why you should accept me, right? At the end, this is my personal opinion, but I feel like at the end of your essay, it should always be like, and this is like, here's how, what am I trying to say? Basically, at the end of your essay, it should be like, okay, maybe there's a problem, but always, always, always end it with how, you know, something positive, right? It always has to be positive. Like my first draft, a hot mess. Toby can attest to it. It was a hot mess, bro. It literally ended with like there was no happy ending. Like there was literally no happy ending, and that's not really what they want, right? Yeah, I don't know what else I could say. Like, just make it personal. It might be really hard. No one wants to be vulnerable, right? But when you think about it, what's the harm in it, for real, right? Just make it really personal. Of course, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Ooh. Wow. Okay. So just like she said, I really like how she talked about the uniqueness of it. So we're gonna take another activity break, but real quick, an example. The example that she gave about like pencil shavings is, you know, like I haven't read it, but she was telling me about it I think before, and there are so many examples like that where it's like, how could this ever make sense? But it's just so unique to somebody. And I remember in one of my essays, I talked about like being a storyteller, quote unquote. And I was talking, because I like used to love, every time I would tutor my brother growing up, I would make things into stories. Like when it came to math, English, things like that. So it would be easy for him to understand. And I realized I also do that for myself, like with biology and things like that. In order for me to remember something for a test, I would always like create it into a story so I could remember it. And I wrote about that in my essay. Like, I don't know how I did it, but I was able to kind of be unique about why it was that I was going into biology and how I was able to make it my own. And these admissions committee want to see how unique you can be. How unique you can be in the fact that you're your own person. They haven't seen something like that before. I also talked about, like, I remember I talked about my hair. Like, not everybody, huh? Oh, you talked about your hair. She talked about her hair too, right? Yeah, okay, go ahead, say it.
I was just gonna say that there are some things that you might not even think like you can write a story about, but I remember for the UCs, the one about creativity, I will always brag about this, I'm sorry, but I just felt it was so creative. Like, I literally talked about my hair, right? How making my hair is an art, this XYZ, you know, just flip a couple words. And it's just like, there are so many things in your life that you may not think you can write about, but you can. You can write about wearing sneakers, just, you know,
yeah, like
word it right.
Your shoe game, how much you love shoes. But don't let it be don't let it be senseless. Huh? Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Like, don't let it be senseless. Don't let it not have, like, a meaning to it, because there are prompts to these things, of course. But at the end of the day, they want to know, why do you want to major in a certain thing you want to major in, but how are you unique in the way that you are? So, like, oh, for example, this is the last example, and we're going into our activity. I was reading a personal statement for medical school, and somebody talked about music. What does music and medicine really have to do with each other? I was wondering that. And when I read it, this person was talking about how music heals, how they volunteered, they would play music, I think they play violin for somebody who was in hospice. And hospice is like end of life kind of care. So they volunteered there, and then they would play music for that person up until the very end. And it's because they loved music so much, they studied music, all this stuff. They thought they were going to be a musician. And that little impact is what made them want to be a doctor. And they connected the two, healing through music and also healing medically. And I was like, what? I'm so certain that people have not written about this before, but they made it so specific to what they were doing. So one, that's reason why you need to be unique, and also ask other people to read your essays, because you have to be vulnerable. If it's not good, I promise you I will tell you, that was okay. Like, that was not really that good. But it's not to hurt you. This is actually how you can improve. So with that being said, we're going to go into our next activity, and I want you guys to kind of take some minutes to yourself. You can talk about it with other people, or you can just be by yourself. And on your phone, if you have your phone with you, just start writing things that you like you do right now. Like, what are things that you're interested in, your hobbies, your the things you do outside of school or the things you do in school, and how that relates even to your major. You don't have to, but just start writing down hobbies, because the time is coming. The time is coming where you have to piece things together. So we're going to take like maybe 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, just like write a few things on your phone about what you're doing now and, yeah, your hobbies and stuff like that. If you need help or whatever, just like wave me over. Or you can talk to other people. It doesn't really matter. Okay.
I'm feeling good, I got a monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ, he changed my life and now I'm finally free. Don't have to carry no more weight up on my shoulders, now I'm finally free. Finally. taking care of me and my family. I had to clean up when I messed up. Started my life over again. Now I'm finally free. I'm feeling good. I got the monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ. He changed my life and now I'm finally free. Don't have to carry no more weight up on my shoulders. Now I'm finally free. Finally, oh yeah. People talk that what they do and what they say can't stop my moves. Let me say a thing or two about what God can do for you. I know He did it for me. I know that He do it for you because I am living proof of what my God can do for you. People change, but my God won't change. I weather the storm with a smile on my face. Singing hallelujah is the higher praise. Lord, I want to thank you for another year. Know I've been changed. The angels in heaven shine my name. Gave my life to Christ and now I'm finally free. Anything I need, my God provides for me. I just want to thank you, God, for loving me, taking care of me and my family. He took the shackles off my feet, now I can dance and now I'm finally free. Finally free. This was for the people in the world who believe in Jesus. Believe in Jesus. He took the shackles off my feet, now I can dance and now I'm finally free. I'm finally free. This was for the people in the world who believe in Jesus. I'm feeling good, I got the monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ, He changed my life and now I'm finally free. Don't have to carry no more weight up on my shoulders, now I'm finally free. Finally, oh yeah.
Heaven up above, show me all your love. Show me all your love. Heaven up above, show me all your love. Been down so long, can you pull me up? Never had it all, but I had enough. Cause even when I fall, I still feel your touch. Take a step outside and feel you inside me. I see the pink skies, they all around me. All I wanna do is just drop to my knees. So praise to the King. Yeah, I couldn't find a way until you made it. They tried to take your life, but then you gave it. That's how far you came, just to give me all your heart. Heaven up above, show me all your love. Want me like the sun, sun in the morning time. Heaven up above, show me all your love. Want me like the sun, sun in the morning time. How we supposed to have peace outside when the world been getting hit with this peace outside? Have you heard how Jesus said, peace be quiet, to the seas that tried to drown him in the midst of the night? Yeah, I know we all mourning. Where you gon' turn when the sky's storming? I know the pain's here, but the love is too. I know it rains here, but the sun comes through. Yeah. It may be all this pain that we've been holding is a burden He can carry any moment. Fill my cup until your love is overflowing. Build me up from all these pieces that were broken. I I couldn't find a way until you made it. They tried to take your life, but then you gave it. That's how far you came, just to give me all your heart. Yeah. Heaven up above, show me all your love. Want me like the sun, sun in the morning time. Heaven up above, show me all your love. Want me like the sun, sun in the morning time. Like the sun in the morning time. Yeah. Like the sun in the morning time. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Tryna get it new, yeah, yeah, but I really don't even trust myself. All I want is to get closer to you, and many times I have problems understanding your glory. But how can I have faith in you and at the same time worry? Yeah, but I need you now, but I need you now. I admit that I was wrong and now I'm coming to you with my hands up. You were coming, put some living water in my cup. Yeah. Holy Spirit, fill me up, 'cause I had enough. Holy Spirit, fill me up. And it's about time I gave it to you. And it's about time I do anything that you want me to do. And it's about time I gave it to you. And it's about time I do all the things you want me to do. It's long overdue, do. Yeah. And it's time to do your way now. Holy Spirit, fill me up, 'cause I had enough. Holy Spirit, fill me up. Holy Spirit, fill me up, 'cause I had enough. Holy Spirit, fill me up.
A2000 EST. OCOE. They said if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. They said my time's wasted if I ain't chasing a bag. But Pops told me never chase nothing. Only here to lead lost souls to the kingdom, that's facts. I only focus on the kingdom and everything else that I need, I know it will attract. If I lose it all now, I know he'll bring it right back. I ain't worried about the cars or the clothes or the plaques. Even if I ball and count big stacks, I would never put that before, you know I won't get attached. Cause that would never last though. You wrapped your arms around me like a lasso. You went and painted the picture Picasso. Oops, Picasso, you made my heart grow. A lesson I learned from the seed is it starts slow. Trust me, you gon' see the tree if you look close. Don't you know having faith is a substance of things that you don't see. But trust me, you gon' see the fruits of your labor. Trust in the king and my focus on laser. Walking in purpose, I'm blessed and I'm favored. I tried to go fall in love with the paper, till you show me love that will never waver. No one can give me the food that you cater. Tried to move fast and regretted it later. Long as I'm focused on you and your truth.
All right. Let's file back in. Hopefully you guys got some stuff that you were able to. That was a bit more than 10 minutes. Sorry about that, but hopefully, my iPad. Hopefully you got some of that, some creative juices flowing, talking to people, and sorry, I'm looking for my iPad. Thank you. Okay, so does anybody want to share? You don't have to, but I would like to hear some ideas. But if you don't want to, that's okay. We can just move on, because we do have quite a bit to talk about. Does anybody want to share? You wanted to share? Oh, like some things that you wrote down. I mean, it might be personal to you, so you don't have to share, but. Okay, Rejoice has something to share. Or things you talked about in your groups, yeah.
Okay, you guys know I already applied, but for my personal essay for the Common App, I chose the last prompt that was. Okay, I chose the last prompt that was, like pick a topic of your choice and write about it. So I wrote about how I like to read books, right? And it sounds really simple, but it's like how I read books, and they, like it's like different, like my imagination's running wild, and I'm this person and that person, just like stories that I pull from reading these books, right? The end goal, because it's not just about I'm reading a cute book and the book has been read, right? At the end of every book, there is, there's a moral, right? So it's just kind of like how I basically got into reading books the way that I did, and then the stories that I pulled out and embedded into myself, right, to make me become the person I am, right? Compassion, zeal, perseverance, things like that, right? That maybe you didn't see from other people when you were growing up, but because I read so much, I saw in a book, and maybe it was fiction, but it became real to me. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really good. So, examples like that. And then a question that I got and when I was talking to a group was, how do we tie everything in? Because if I have a specific story I want to talk about, usually your application is supposed to be well-rounded. It's not supposed to be random. Like, if you're talking about something in this area, it doesn't mean that you have to talk about it in another area, but it has to rhyme. It has to be, basically, this is how they put it. Your application should tell one big story: who you are, why you deserve to go to the school. It should be one big story, which means it should make sense. You're not talking about, like, for example, dogs, and then start talking about plants, and it's like, okay, I'm an animal person. Only talk about animals, right? And that, I guess that's the best I can, make sense out of it. You don't start talking about different things, and then it doesn't make sense. So I guess I'll share my example when I was applying, into a 4-year from community college, and I talked to one of the required, I think, or one of the prompts was describe like your idea of leadership. Mind you, the community college questions are different. Some of them are different from the, going straight in. But this one was talking about your leadership experience. And in community college, I had leadership experience, but I felt like I would sound like everybody else. Like I did leadership in a STEM club, then I did leadership like mentoring people, this and that. Okay, how many other people have done that? So I decided to take a little spin on it, and I talked about, how I thought leadership might have been this and that. And although it was, I talked about my leadership as a big sister. And at first I was like, people might be like, what do you mean? But through me being a big sister, I learned what leadership really meant, like being the first daughter, coming to America, all that kind of stuff, putting on a good example, but also like being able to be humble in certain areas and take positions in certain areas. I was able to talk about that. So in my sense, that was creative, and that's how I was able to express my leadership skills. So yeah, those are some examples. I hope you guys took a lot from that, and I hope this is helping you so far. Is this helping you guys so far? Yay. Okay. So let's move on to the next slide. Campus visits. Have any of you guys visited any campuses yet? Okay, name out some schools of colleges you've visited, even if it's community college. What are some schools that we visited? Anyone?
Sac State.
Okay, Sac State.
UC San Diego and Stanford.
UC San Diego, Stanford, okay.
UCLA.
UCLA. These are siblings of people who go to these schools, okay. Any other school you guys have, even if it's a community college, how many of you been to DVC or LMC? Okay, that is a campus visit, okay? We need to stop dwindling down community colleges because it is still a college, and you still do have to visit to know where you're going, okay? All right, so campus visits are really important. Why? Just to see how pretty the school is? Yeah, I mean, it all matters. I know that, sometimes it doesn't matter what school. No, it matters to me. I want to see how pretty my campus is. I want to be able to know that I can, walk around and be like, I love my school, or like, wow, this is so pretty. You'll see later on from specific experiences of people who are in college now, so many pictures of their school because they actually like to go there. When I went to UC Irvine, we had like a park in the middle, and it's actually known for like the park in the middle. It's called Aldrich Park, and we used to do a lot of events there. And it was the most beautiful thing because people, and even people in the neighborhood, would come there, walk their dogs. These are people who don't even go to the school, but they come in, they walk their dogs, they have picnics in that park, and this is part of the school. And it was just always so beautiful. I remember when I went to go shadow a doctor, and he was like, oh, I ride my bike there all the time. It's so beautiful. It's so green, da-da-da. So like I'm saying, it's very important for you to like where you go to school and to know that, okay, I like to go to the school because it's in the city. Are you a city person? Are you a country person? I mean, how many of you, if you haven't been to UC Davis is in the middle of basically nowhere. If you don't want to go to a school that's far away from civilization, UC Davis might not be the place for you. Right? And it's important for you to know that if academics is more important to you than, social life, then okay, that's fine. But if you also care about, where you're going to school and how far it is from maybe shopping malls and things like that, it's important that you visit schools. And also virtual visits are good as well, just like it says, do your research and see how campus life is. As you can see, we have some schools here. That's UCLA. That's what it's like known for. I don't know what what is that, Royce? Yeah, Royce Hall. Okay, that's USC right here. USC is pretty big as well. And a lot of these other places I don't know. But we just took some pictures from online and we put it there. But this is a study area on the left. This is a study area where you can, study. And if it's nice, you're more likely to go there to study with your friends rather than stay in your dorms. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay, next we have financial aid and scholarships. Oh, this is the one. Because a lot of you think that going to school is just to go to school and then, you're doing it for free like high school. It's not like that. Money goes into it. Just because you're not the one paying for it doesn't mean money isn't going into it. So, for financial aid, we have FAFSA. Who's heard of FAFSA? Okay, have you guys heard information about FAFSA so far? Okay, good. Means your school is preparing you pretty well. So financial aid or FAFSA is something that we need to start preparing for now, right? It says it opens up in October, which is literally only if it doesn't open up in October? Oh, in December? Really? Oh, they changed it. Okay, well, it used to open up a lot earlier during my day. I'm just kidding. But it used to open up much earlier, but now it opens up in December, which is, good information to know. You need to do it as soon as possible. The process is long. It's long. If you miss any steps, they will take you back. I remember when I missed a step and it was delayed and I had to take out like $5K to like pay for my classes alone were not even included. That's just for tuition for the quarter. So I had to take that out, and then I now got reimbursed later. But imagine taking out $5K when you don't have it. Like, where am I going to get that from, right? So it's important that you have everything now so that you're not delayed or put back. Tolu, did you have a question?
It was 100 questions, right? They said now it's 44.
Oh, 44 questions now? Oh, instead of 100 questions for FAFSA? Okay, so that's not bad. It's a lot better. They used to make our life like very stressful. So, yeah. Okay, and then they say that scholarships are everywhere, and I don't know what to believe about this statement because whenever I would apply, I would never see them, but they are there. They're there, but you have to look for specific ones for you. When they say scholarships are everywhere, they mean it, but not the ones for you. They have scholarships for Latinos, Hispanics. They have scholarships for Native Americans. They should have scholarships for African Americans as well, for minorities. So definitely look into scholarships now as a high school student. They have scholarships for seniors. So I'm going to make a list, a whole like Google Doc, and I'll send it out to you guys for scholarships you can start applying to. Now, even if you go to a community college, you need scholarships because those things will help you pay for your books. Books are not free in college. Books are not free in college, okay? Do you know how much books can be in college? Go ahead, take a guess. Okay, not 5,000. Like 500. I remember I had to pay for a book out of pocket for a Calculus 2 book, $500. And I would not, $500. Did I use it? No, I did not use it. But I had to use it for the homework. I had to use it because it had a code, and you have to do the homework, online. So, yeah. So, guys, this stuff is expensive. Yes, TJ?
Can't we use, like, online?
Can you use what?
Ebooks or online.
Okay, so you can now, thank God. But the thing is, when classes ask you to purchase the book for the homework, it's a different story. So if you have to purchase like the online book or whatever so that you're able to do the homework that it provides in the book, you do have to pay for it. Thankfully, people are more relaxed now because of COVID, and people are, not as rich as as they were. We are always rich. But, that also goes into it. UI. You can also get used books.
Used books.
That's definitely an option too. That's definitely an option. There's online books. There's actually a website that I will look for that I used to use that would give me the whole PDF of a book that I think for the last 2 years of college, I didn't have to pay for any books, which was good. And it was through this one website. It's called like Z Library or something like that. They're closed. Wow. So sorry. Oh, okay. Well, we'll look for more opportunities. We'll look for more resources, guys, because as we're going on, there's a lot of resources for you guys. So, yeah. So, like we said here, always Google is your best friend. So you can always search up school, like the school that you're going to, like. Excuse me. You can search up San Francisco State scholarships or something like that, or California State. Long Beach scholarships, or scholarships for college freshmen, scholarship for high school seniors. Did you have a question, Kathy? Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, most hospitals, if you're going to the medical field, they usually give you like grants or like scholarships towards whatever major
Yeah. Okay. So if you're going to, I know that when I was getting into a UC, they had the blue and gold grant. And if you lived in California basically your whole life, you're good to go. Like they will take a good amount off if you're, qualified for that. So that's where FAFSA comes in, making sure that you're qualified for certain things. But yeah, thank you, Kathy, for that. We have examples here like the Coca-Cola scholarship, the Jackie Robinson scholarship, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so this is gonna be the last one before we get into other people's experiences, and then we can have some questions. So, who's thinking about community college? Be very honest. Okay, and I kind of want to understand, why are you thinking about community college? Do you want to use my mic? Why are you thinking about community college? Here you go.
Okay, so, community college, if you're thinking about it, it's either personal or financial wise or whatever, but mine is both. So I really think I will be immature in college. I'm going to be very honest. I think I'm going to be immature if I go to college because I am easily persuaded. That's it. I know that's trouble. But, and also financial wise, and it also gives me time to just have like a life experience in some sense, and to just get closure with my friends, my family, and just make room for also God in my life is a really big factor. And then after that, after 2 years, just 2 years, I'm not spending forever here. I'm gonna go to probably like California State or UC. Yep, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, TJ. That was some good points. I'm going to get into it. What about you, Praise? Did you want to share? She said it all? Okay, so the next slide, we're going to go ahead and get into the pros and cons of a 4-year and a community college. So for a 4-year, some pros that we have is that you get the college experience. I got to have a college experience a little bit, but just later on, and COVID gets in the way of that. But a 4-year college, you get the college experience because you get the dorming, you get the social life aspect of it. I mean, it's a huge transition and change. And if you want that college experience and you just cannot miss out on that, then maybe a 4-year is for you. I remember I really wanted that 4-year experience, but things happen, but that was something that if I would have the choice to go back, I would definitely go to a 4-year because that was something that was really important to me. I wanted that experience.
Amen. Hallelujah.
But, okay. But for 4-year colleges, another thing to also take into consideration, the college experience is something that a lot of people usually tilt on. They're like, okay, I really want that, so I don't really care about anything else. But also, more things to think about is more extracurricular activities. There's a lot of clubs that you can get involved in, like that are specific to what you like. If you like medicine, you go into that. TJ, you were talking about psychiatry. They literally have clubs for psychology, people who want to go into psychiatry or into the field of psychology. They have business clubs, engineering clubs. They have computer science clubs, robotics clubs. They got all the clubs you can think about, literally all the clubs you can think about. So, they have cultural clubs as well. Nigerian Student Association is one of them. Black Student Union is one of them. They have a lot of things. So you have more clubs there, depending on the community college, but usually it's more at a 4-year college. So you also have more majors. Some people can minor in community college, but it's not always popular. So in a 4-year college, you have more majors, like all the different names and combinations that you can combine. You can psychology, double major, English, you can, biology, engineering, political science, all these kind of things. Like, they have a lot of majors. So if you know that you want to minor or double major in something because of a specific interest to you, let's say you want to minor in African American studies, or you want to double major in African American studies and political science. That's something that you can do that you might not get the chance to do at a community college. But here are the cons, the costs. It can be more expensive depending if you're going to out of state or you're staying in state. But regardless, the cost is a lot. I know some schools can go for like $13K to $50K. If you go to an Ivy League, $60K. Private school, $80K. I mean, it goes up, and that's per year, not per 4 years, per year. So the cost is there. And last, it's, the con is not being prepared, just like TJ said. A lot of people go into a 4-year and they're not prepared mentally. They're not prepared academically. Like, let's say you've been doing things like you've been getting A's, whatever, in high school, but high school is different from college. As much as people like to think, oh yeah, since I've been doing well in high school, I'm good in college. That's not always the case. You can be very studious in high school, and I know a lot of people who transition into college and they're struggling. So I'm not saying that you will struggle or anything like that, but being mentally prepared for what you're going into is very important. And if you're not, and you're thinking, I'm just here I just want to leave my parents' house, I just want to get out of here, I just want freedom, well, that shouldn't be your only. If you're saying that, you should also be prepared for what you're going to be facing, right, in a 4-year college. So make sure that you're mature and you're not going to be easily influenced into things, because college is fun, but it can also be a very scary place. There's a lot of things out there. It's basically the real world. So if your relationship with God is a very important factor, which it was for me, and just like TJ it's for her, if you're not prepared, even spiritually, to get into that atmosphere, and you feel like you're going to, easily be influenced to, do all the things that they're doing and all that, and you might get in trouble. Academic probation is a very real thing. You don't want to get kicked out of college. You don't want to get caught for cheating because you can't finish your homework because you were partying all night. You know what I mean? So make sure you're mentally prepared, you're mature to face what college brings. So community college, there's some pros. I'm sure there's more pros than this, but we only had time to put 2. So community college, you save money, of course. Like, it's not as expensive as a 4-year college, and it's more flexible in the timing. Some people want to be done in exactly 2 years, like myself. I was done in exactly 2 years, and I was out of there. But some people, they want to take 3 years. They want to take 4 years. They want to take 5 years. They want to take 6 years. That's your problem. That's you. That is you. And, if that's what you want to do, there's no shame in it. There's no judgment. But it's more flexible, because the thing is, community college can be much smaller, and it's more competitive in getting classes, and us community college people can speak to that. You might have to go to a few, but it is more flexible time-wise. And also with your major, if you don't know what you want to major in and you're confused, community college might be the one for you. I won't even lie, because then you have more time to think about it, rather than going to spend thousands of dollars at a 4-year. So what are some cons? The cons are the pros that you get in 4-year. So you have less college majors in community college. Things that you want to, explore. Like, I don't think we had African American studies at DVC when I went there. And that was really upsetting, because I wanted to minor in that, but they didn't have it, because it was mostly like STEM classes or English and things like that. So keep that in mind. You do miss out on the 4-year experience and the friendships and things like that. When they say college is where you make your lifelong friends. So community college kind of breaks that apart, because if you think about it, when you're in high school, if you move during high school, you kind of lose connections. So it's kind of the same thing with community college, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. It's boo. Okay. So yeah, those are some pros and cons to think about if you were thinking about community college or a 4-year college. Okay, so now we have experience time. Woo! So we're gonna invite back up our girl, Rejoice. She's gonna talk about her experience at UCLA. Can we give her a round of applause? She's a sophomore, like I said, so she's like fresh out. So this is her first year experience. Listen, because we're gonna have a 4-year experience. We're having a 4-year experience like storytelling, and we're also going to have a community college storytelling. So pay attention. Okay, guys, go ahead and pay attention. There's pictures there for you, too. They all tell a story, I promise.
Hey, guys. Okay. Which side? Okay, so I'm gonna just start with how I got in. Ooh. Okay, so In high school, I took a lot of APs, not as much as I could have, but I took a lot of APs, so I had a 4.3 weighted. 4.3. I had a 4.3 weighted GPA. I can't remember how much it was unweighted, but of course grades are, I see you smiling over there, Miss 4.43. We know. But grades are like, if you're thinking of going straight to a 4-year, grades are actually like pretty important. I know we say like it's all about the essays, which it is. If you had maybe not as good grades and you have like a really great essay explaining why maybe your grades aren't that great, that's fine. But they also do look at grades, so I know it's your senior year, so senioritis and all that, but you should still be on top of it. There's no reason why you should be slacking, right? So yeah, they definitely do look at your senior year grades. I know we're like, oh, junior year is important, and yes, I don't know if they focus on that, but they definitely do look at your senior year grades, because how can you go from a junior straight A to a senior? You're having D's and all that. I don't really think they would. I can't speak for them, but yeah. So as far as extracurriculars, I did some volunteer work, starting from my sophomore year to high school. To my senior year. I had a job. To be honest, the reason I got in was God. I'm just going to be really honest, because my extracurriculars were not that great. Like, I did volunteer work, I had a job, and a lot of my other free time was like spent at home. First daughter and all that, so familiar responsibility was like a really big thing. And I wrote about that in my essays, which I think is also why, they might have let me in. Because in my essays, I was like, I can only balance so much. I can't really be two places at once when my parents are, calling for this, and, they feel like, as a first daughter, it's like my responsibility to do these things, and I can't argue with them, you know what I mean? It is my responsibility to do these things, so I do them, right? But then I can't be doing these things for my parents, for my, family, and then also going out and volunteering 40 hours a week, and, going to hospitals and cures for cancer, and I can't be doing all that. So that's one thing I really wrote. Like, if there is a reason why maybe you're not doing as much as you could, or as much as your classmates are, you should write about that, and I did. I have a lot of familiar responsibility, and that's why I'm not out here doing all these things, but I am doing something, right? So, yeah, your essays, or the reason why I feel like I got in, my essays, my grades, volunteer work, and yeah, that's just it. So, my current major is molecular cellular developmental biology, MCDB for short, with a minor in African American studies. And boy, oh boy. So I'm just gonna start with like what to expect in terms of your academics. It is hard. Okay, how many people STEM majors? Raise your hand with some confidence, okay? Okay, it is hard. Okay, it's really hard, and chemistry is not your friend. It's really not. Because y'all listen, like I said, I was pretty good in high school, like straight A student. If I, not to toot my own horn, right? But by the end of my first year, I was screaming, C's get degrees. Yes, they do. Because I got a C- in my chem class, and you know what? I passed, and I was so happy because I was praying to God, please let me get a C. Who does that? Right? So that's how hard UCLA, that's how hard it was. If you really need a lot of time management. Time management is really important. You probably should, pencil and paper. You really need good time management skills, because the pros, social life and everything. And it's great to go out. It's great to create that community. It's great for clubs. That's great and all. But you also have a test on Monday. You have a 5-page paper that you actually have to write, because college papers and high school two different things, right? In high school, you can get away with a little procrastination. Yeah, it's due today. You can start today, probably. But in college, you need to start before the professor tells you it's due. That's how bad it is. That's literally how bad it is. Like, I remember I had a 10-page paper to write. Yeah, that's even easy. That's 5 + 5. Yeah, I had a 10-page paper to write, and it was the hardest thing I've ever written. It was about like military and stuff. Like, bro, like it was just so hard, and I don't know why. But though it is hard, you can survive, right? So one thing that I want to say to you guys is definitely like talk to your professors. I know they might seem intimidating, but I promise you, ask them a few questions and they're chit-chatting like your buddies. Like, sit in front of their class. Don't be one of those people sitting in the back, because let me tell you why. Sit in front, raise your hand, talk to professors. That's how they know your name. Why do you need them to know your name? Not just for letter of recommendations, but for opportunities. Some of these professors have labs. They could see you doing good in their class and be like, you know what? I kind of like you. Come work for me. Or maybe you could ask them and they'll be like, okay, I see that you pay attention to my class. I see you have a drive to learn. I see, you know, you're doing all these things. Okay, and that opens doors for opportunities, because professors have friends, let me tell you. And, you know, that's how you get places, right? Not just for STEM majors, but for anything you really want to do. Like, I really recommend talk to your professors. Go to their office hours. It don't matter if you have questions or not. Go sit. And if they ask you for something, how's the weather? You know, just make sure your professors know your name. Right, that was something that when I went to college, I was like, okay, I have 3 years to do that. My first year, I'm gonna just do this. Listen, one thing about STEM, it's a competition for everybody, right? You're slacking off, but your classmate, all of her professors know her name. Your classmate, like she's like, not to do the whole comparison thing, but it's kind of like, really don't slack off, because there are like I said, it's a competition, and there are actually people who are doing their best to make sure they get where they're going, and we cannot. No, one thing about me, I'm not gonna lose. Sorry. So, yeah, talk to your professors, talk to your TAs. Your TAs are like graduate students who assist your professor, right? So you're like, in your discussions, in your labs, talk to your TAs. Ask them for help. And another thing about me, I didn't really like asking for help. I was more of like a I'll figure it out type person, but the figuring wasn't figuring out, right? I needed help. I needed bad help. Chemistry is not your friend. I'm sorry. It's really not. But yeah, so get into study groups. Not just talk to your professors, not just talk to your TAs, but talk to your peers. I'm telling you, your peers know some things. There were some people who took AP chemistry. I never took AP chemistry, so who did I go to? The people who took AP chemistry. And they helped me, you know, I passed chemistry, amen. And yeah, another thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask your professors, your TAs, all that. And another thing, it is, for me, because in college you get to choose your classes, right? You get like this whole layout of all the classes you need to take in all your 4 years of being in college. And you get to choose which classes you get to take. So coming from high school, it was like, what do you mean I have to choose? What are you talking about? It's not chosen for me. You know, I get to choose the times that I want. I get to choose if I even want to go to class. Like, it was just too much. I felt like it was too much choice given to me, right? So then, you know, another thing, I'm trying to get done as quickly as I can, right? So I'm choosing all these hard classes thinking, let's just get it through, right? But I was struggling in these classes. So my point in saying all that is like, I know you might want to do it and get it over with, but sometimes it's better to wait and prepare yourself for this class than to just rush in blindly. That's what I did. With chemistry, I wanted to get it over with. Let me take it now. So I took, there's like a whole series, first class, second class, third class. I didn't do as well as I wanted to, right? And I feel like if I had paused, if I had taken a break from chemistry, maybe I could have started a bio series instead, right? And started on that path. I might have done a lot better. But because I just wanted to get it done, I was like, it's going to go quickly. I don't want to be a sophomore in Gen Chem. Just forget it. Forget it, because you're not really doing yourself a great service, you know? So I think it's better to wait, prepare yourself before you just jump in blindly to these classes. So really do a lot of research in these classes. And one thing my dad used to tell me, just like look at the things before class start, or like look at the syllabus, go on YouTube, search up, you know, like intro to chemistry type things before the class starts, and I'm telling you, it will help you. It will really do. Like, you don't even have to go writing notes, but like get a feel, you know, of what, because there are some people from high school, like I said, who took AP chemistry, and that's basically what Gen Chem is, to sum it up. And, you know, I was sitting there lost, but, you know, the girl beside me, she was, oh yeah, this makes sense. You know, so it was like, okay, two different worlds, right? So yeah, academics is hard, especially transferring from high school to college. So you really do need to be on top of it. Like if you were on top of it before, be on top of it some more, right? Ooh, I rhymed. But yeah, you really do need to be on top of it. Like your time management has to actually be really good. The balance, the social life balance, like also remember why you're there, right? You're not there to go to parties. Parties are fun. You're not there to go to clubs. Clubs are fun. You're there for an education, right? Like just really remind yourself, why are you there? Oh, I'm not so wait. I mean like clubs like, like NSA, pre-med clubs. I'm not telling, yeah. There's actually pre-med clubs, like actually you should join those. They give you like a whole MCAT debrief type thing if you're pre-med, of course. But yeah, so yeah. Oh, my pictures. Sorry. Okay. This is the one with the experiment. I don't know if I can see it. This one over here. That was my first chemistry lab, and let me tell you, it was so much fun, y'all. Like I was really in there, pipetting, using the beret. Like, come on. Like, there was this whole thing, we dropped some little chemicals in it, changed colors. I actually forgot, but like it was so much fun, and it was expensive because you have to buy your lab coat, you have to buy your goggles, you have to buy the book, then you have to buy the notebook, then you have to buy the course for the class. A lot of things were being bought. Like she said, college is really expensive, but that lab was really fun. Here's me doing work. This picture, I came back from my math final that I thought was gonna be so easy. Y'all, I went into that final like, I prayed all night, I was studying. I looked at the first question, blank. Blank. I didn't know nothing on there. Be more prepared than I was, but that's fine. That's my coding lab. Coding's actually super fun when you know what's going on. I didn't really know what's going on in that one, but it's really fun. It was like oscillations and all. It was fun. It was fun. So yeah, that's academics. Next one, please. Social life. Okay, now for the fun part, right? Hey, you see, the social life, right? So when I went to college, obviously PWI, so I was like, where on God's green earth are my people? Because I also lived, at UCLA, there's a floor, it's called 4 North, basically African American diaspora, so the entire floor is just black people, right? Of course, there's the little strays that, but the entire floor was black people, and I didn't know about it until it was too late. So I was having serious FOMO, y'all. Like I was like, an entire floor of black people, and I'm here. Like literally, I was like one of the 3 black people on my entire 4 black people on my entire floor. So it was a little hard, right? So the first month even, I was struggling. I was shaking. I was like, God, please. Like, actually, God, please. And then, I found hey. So I joined NSA. Club Rush, a lot similar to high school. So joined NSA. This is our culture show. So cute, so fun. Yeah, so you really do have to put yourself out there, go to club meetings. When you sign up for these clubs, actually go to their meetings, please. Because that's really how I met my people, right? That's really how I met these people that I feel like are my lifelong friends, And I know it's only been year 1, but we're like this. Football games. Do you guys like sports? Listen, I don't even know anything that goes on with football, but I was always at those games. Like, school spirit is really something else. Like, let me tell y'all. I don't know what happened, but I saw fireworks and we were chanting UCLA. So, I was hyped. The games were really fun. Basketball, football, us. Don't tell USC, but we really should have won. Okay. But, yeah. Yeah, social life, it's just really fun. But one thing I have to remind you guys, you need a lot of self-control. A lot of self-control. TJ touched on it a little bit, with the whole immature thing. Shout out to you, TJ. But it is, especially as a college freshman, it is so easy to be easily influenced. And if you're, like Toby said, if your relationship with God is not strong, like I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, they will get you. They will get you. Um, like the first couple of weeks of college, when I tell you, God was in the back of my mind. Like it was literally nothing. Okay, can I get to where we're going? Can I get to where we're going? Okay, so like I was saying, it was really all about like just trying to find, because one thing about it also, I obviously prayed to get into UCLA, right? I was praying like, God, please don't let me miss out the school that you destined for me to go. And I feel like UCLA was that school. But then I got into the school that he got me into, by the way, and I didn't think about him not once, right? So like before I went to college, I was on my stuff. I was reading my Bible. I was praying every night. It was really giving like, okay, period. First week of college, I went to sleep, no Bible. I was like, okay, I'll read tomorrow. I didn't read until spring quarter. If you don't know, say no judgment, right? Spring quarter is when? When is it? Toby, when is spring quarter? No, spring, May, April? Yeah. April. When did I go to school? September. Okay. That's really to tell you. You really need, it was serious. You really need a lot of self-control. You really need God to actually be number one. I know we're preaching God first. But when you go to school, that's when you really see God first, right? God was not first for me, and I can say I'm not proud of that, but I see where, I went wrong, and I'm trying for God first. Amen. So yeah, we need a lot of self-control. We need God to actually be number one, because where would we be without him, right? And then freshman 15 is another thing. Here's my attempt at reducing my freshman 15, y'all. Acai bowl, that was just sugar, by the way. Because one thing about it, UCLA is number one dining, if you didn't know, in the entire country, by the way. Number one dining. But so that's to say, the food is a lot, and of course it's like a buffet every day. You know how you go to that Chinese buffet on Sundays, that special Sunday? Imagine if that Sunday was every day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And by the way, the gym is like miles across the campus. So who's going? Tell me who's gonna go to the gym. Listen, it was, sure, free gym. You just have to like get yourself to go there. I was not going there. I always thought like I would never be a victim of freshman 15 until I was, call it freshman 20 even. But listen, it was just really bad. Like actually, it's so easy because junk food is really like a once in a while type thing when you're at home, but at school it's really there every day. Go downstairs and it's there. You're hungry, you want something, go outside and it's there. And it's very hard to control yourself because the salads and the healthier options are just not that good. They're not. The pizza's way better. So what are you gonna eat? The pizza. And it's also hard because it's like, if the food's not good, then you're gonna buy outside food. And what outside food options do you have? Chick-fil-A. Okay. So where can you win? You can't. Self-control, like I said. And with the meal swipes, my meal plan was kind of like, there was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but if I wanted to eat at any time between that, I could. So basically, I could eat 5 meals in a day if I wanted. That's some dangerous stuff. Okay. So, and also, like, remember who you are. Like I said, it's easy to get carried away, but we need to remember who we are, right? Remember how we were raised. We need to remember who should be first in our hearts, right? Thank you guys for listening. You remember your mommy and your daddy, and God number one. Thank you. Any questions for me? No? Okay. Sorry.
Do you want?
Hello? Okay, this is better. Everyone likes to hate on community college, and I kind of understand why. Everyone wants to go to 4-year after high school. I actually had that chance, but as you can see, other things took course, but we still moved by God's grace. All right, so welcome to my disclassified school survival. All right, okay. So many of my people might not think you need a checklist for community college, but you do. So the first thing, obviously, apply and know what campus you want to go to, because there's obviously, like, I think pretty much all of you guys live close to here, but there's the LMC campus, which is in Pittsburgh. There's a DVC campus, which is in Pleasant Hill, and then there's a San Ramon campus. So depending on where you live, you want to make sure you're picking the right location. And then after that, after you apply, talk to a counselor. I cannot stress this enough. And also talk to a good counselor, please. My first counselor, she told me not to do bio. Why? Maybe she didn't think I was fit. I had the grades, but sometimes demographics have things to do with that, and people can lead you astray. So please talk to a good counselor. I would recommend talking to a counselor that's like, part of your major, maybe even similar cola. But, it's hard to get that. But, to your major, just talk to a counselor first before picking any classes. And then next, apply for financial aid. If I find out that any of you guys are going to community college and you're paying out of pocket, I will deal with you, okay? You should not be paying any. Sorry, you have a question?
You can't, like, you have to.
What?
It's required this year to do it. So there's no way that.
No, for community college, some people don't apply for it, and they miss out.
No, but it's required for every.
Oh, okay. It's, no, but I've never paid for any class out of community college with, like, my own money. So please, guys, I get paid. I get paid to go to community college. So we thank God. Okay? And not only do I get paid, I get refund checks. Y'all don't even know about those. Refund checks. Okay? If you keep those grades up, that money, it will keep rolling in. It will keep rolling in. All right? And then the next thing is the Transfer Academy and the honors program. So LMC has, like, an honors program that helps, like, you have to take, like, specific classes that will help you, like, transfer to a 4-year university. And then the Transfer Academy helps you set up, like, your education plan, the classes that you want to take for a 4-year university. So I think if you guys qualify, if you're going to LMC or DVC, really look into those two programs. And then next, you want to create an education plan with your counselor. Like, you don't want to just be putting random classes. You want to, like, space it out too. That's another thing. Like, if you want to, like, stay there in 2 years, a lot of your classes are going to be bunched up together. So you really want to make sure, you're taking the right classes at the right time. And then this website is really good. Assist.org helps you look for the classes that you're supposed to match with the college that you want to go to. Because, to be honest, a lot of counselors will lead you astray. They'll tell you, you need to take this class, and guess what? You didn't need to take that class. And next thing you know, you're there for a third year. So please, visit this website. Next slide, please. TJ, Praise, Tolu, I think, or no? Are you going to LMC? Sorry. Okay, sorry. TJ and Praise. I'm talking to people. Okay. Next, resources and clubs. This is really important. Guys, be active in community college. I know that a lot of people think, like, it's community college. I just want to get there, get my degree, and go. I feel the same way, but there's a lot of resources on campus that a lot of people don't know about. For instance, Mesa, I'm in Mesa, and this is for STEM majors, and it's a really important program to join. It helps write your personal statements, your PIQs, make sure that you're on track for college, make sure that your grades are, up to date. And then I'm also in Women in STEM, because shout out to Women in STEM. There's not a lot of us, especially in community college, but, we'd be there. And then we have Umoja, which is like, it's like a club that helps, African-American students at community college take certain classes. They have a lot of events, a lot of really cool events on campus. And then it's also kind of similar to BSU, Black Student Union. And I don't know if there's anyone that's here that's interested in, like, political science or law, but they also have the Law Society club. And then, so I talked about EOPS. Oh, EOPS. Yes, this is an important program. I did say like it's depending on if you can apply or not because it is based on like income and like what you get from FAFSA. But if you guys qualify, really take advantage of it. They basically pay for your books. My friend is in it. She be getting a lot of stuff for free. She got a $100 voucher for gas. I know some of you guys drive. They give you free books. You get free dining because the LMC now has like a dining area, and she gets free meal tickets. She gets a certain amount, but she gets free meal tickets to eat there. So really think. And I know no one here is disabled, but I wanted to bring up DSPS because a lot of people get test anxiety. A lot of people, everyone has different attention spans, and we all, you can get nervous before a test, and DSPS can really help with allowing you to take it in a separate room. If you get like over anxious about like, are you paying attention to other people in the room while you're taking a test, this program can help you. So I just wanted to put it up there just in case. And then next slide, please. All right, and then when those 2 years are up, you have your time to transfer. Okay, so I don't want to give anyone make anyone feel ashamed about their GPA, but I would really aim for a 3.4 and above, and this is because there's a thing for community college students which is called UC Tag, and I'm doing that as well right now. But the UC Tag application allows you to get a transfer guaranteed admission to one UC of your choice. So UC Davis, UC Irvine, UCSD. So if your grades are good, UC Tag is definitely something that you should be looking forward to if you're at community college. And then, so for UC Tag, like for me, I'm applying for fall of the semester. So you typically apply of your sophomore year or whatever is your last year at LMC. And then ask for letter of recommendations. Rejoice said this earlier too. Please, obviously you can ask anyone, but it's really good when you ask someone that's part of your major. And for me, it's been really easy to ask for letter of recommendations from when I'm applying because I spent lots of hours in my my teacher's office hours, especially for chem. So I already have that good relationship. So really try to build that relationship. I know it can feel overwhelming to talk to a professor, but it's really important. And then also work on personal statements and PIQs. And that's why I said to join Mesa, guys, because I'm literally in that club, and it helps me stay on date with it. They help you write it, because it's hard to brainstorm those ideas. So really look into that club. I cannot stress that enough. Please join Mesa if you're going to community college. Next slide, please. And then right here, I just have the timeline. I'm just going to talk about the important ones. August 1st, that's when the UC application is available. September 30th, though, is for UC Tag, and that's only for community college students. So that's just something that you should look into because, to submit it. And then you can go to the next slide. Then I have important links, QR codes. You guys can scan them. Some of them are for scholarships, admissions, and other resources that I probably couldn't cover. Yeah, you can scan them. Huh? Only for CC. Sorry, because I'm in community college. So these are just for community college since, I'm a part of it. Are you trying to copy my idea? Yeah. I didn't see on the slide. Maybe I missed it. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh. Later. If not, I can let you guys see the slide too. Yeah, I'll just send it to you. All right, Nikki, you can go to the next slide, please. All right, so I have some of my friends here. People always say you can't meet lifelong friends, but I think I met a pretty group of friends at community college. So some of my pictures here are some of my friends from community college that I met, obviously, in community college. This picture right here, too, I would recommend getting a campus job. I decided to be a math tutor. The pay is not too good, but yeah, you see it, you see the vision. So, because sometimes it's hard to balance course load and then having a job outside. So I would really recommend getting a job on campus, it would really take off a lot of stress. So you guys, this is some stuff from this is from Chem 25, Chem 25 lab. This is really important. I did an ecology research project in Bio 21, and you can see it right up there. I got to present, not to toot my own horn, but yep. So we decided, so that's like from that picture and then some other stuff for our research proposal and stuff like that. And it can be fun. You know, community college is not all that bad that people like to make it, you know? Okay, and then next slide. And then that's just some more of me, my social life outside of community college. All with this picture, always in the student hours with my teacher. Always. Me and my friends for chem. I got to tour at UC Davis. And honestly, you know, just enjoying life. And then another thing that I was telling TJ and Praise about is really connecting with people in community college. You can find a lot of connections. People think you can't because, you know, they're not from Ivy Leagues or they're not, you know, they don't have certain prestige, but you really can. Because of the Bio 21 class that I had on the other slide, I was able to, my teacher selected me and my other friend to go to SACNAS, and that is a STEM conference. It's in Oregon this year. I'm going next month, and it's an all-paid trip. Not only that, it's an all-paid trip. So it's an all-paid trip where I'm going to be getting experience for internships, talking to alumni from other colleges like UCLA, UC Davis. I know there's going to be representatives from there, and I had to write an essay for it, and me and my other friend, and it was like a $500 to like cover the cost, and so I got selected for that. And that's also because not only because I talked to my professor, make sure your grades are good. I had an A in her class, but it wasn't just because of that. It's because I talked to her like pretty much every day, especially when we worked on our research project. You know, creating that personal relationships really mean a lot. When you create those personal relationships, people, they will want to go out of their way to do something for you. So that concludes it. Oh, yes, guys, don't be like me and get a caffeine addiction in college. Please, it's been rough, you know, late night studying. Yeah, so charged lemonades, they're caffeinated lemonades from Panera. I will stay away. That's my best advice, to stay away from them. You can see in this text message, I was telling my friends that I had too much to do. So I felt like a charged lemonade would fix it. But don't worry, I didn't get it because I'm trying to work on cutting back on caffeine. So anyway, this concludes my presentation. Thank you. Oh, okay.
Okay, hi guys. Okay, in case you don't know, I go to UC San Diego, and this is gonna be my last year. Okay, I am a transfer student, so of course I did the CC. I went to LMC. Honestly, I won't lie, Tinu is very involved in LMC. I wasn't. Like, I would go to class and then just run home, or I'll run to like the library to study because I was always in the library every time. Please make use of your school's library. I promise you, like, you're gonna get your work done like this. Like, it is so calming. But for my experience in UC San Diego, I'll let you know, for like those of you who are applying to go to like UCs in general, vast majority of them, especially those down south, I will let you know the population-wise, for us black people, we are usually about 5%. So yes, don't be surprised when like you're in a lecture hall filled with like 300 people and you're like 1 out of 2 black people in the lecture hall, especially if you're science-based. It is nothing, surprising. Like it is, that's just how the statistics of those schools are. But that's why I have to emphasize this so much, it is so important for you to build your community in whatever school you're in, especially when you're not going to like a HBCU or like a school that isn't like black people are not dominant in that school. It is very important to have your own community, because at least that way you're gonna have friends that you can relate with, or even study groups, or just like friends you can hang out with like just for the weekends, or just somehow to just chill. But aside from that, what is most important? Having your personal life. It is very important. Of course, yes, it is of course normal to, have friends and always have people to hang out with, but it is also important for you to have your personal life. Not only just for you to just calm down and to de-stress and to meditate, but also when you're trying to, build a relationship with God. Also among your friends, it is very important to build a relationship with God among your friends, but it starts with a personal growth too. So, where will I start? Okay, from the far left corner, that was me in my school Starbucks. I go there to study a lot when because I do have lectures early in the morning, and sometimes for us transfers, I'll let you know. I don't know how it is for UCLA, but transfer housing, they hate us transfers. So our transfer housing is literally at the edge of campus. So you have to walk 20 to 30 minutes to your classes. So invest in electric scooters. If you don't have a car, invest in electric scooters. But my campus has this scooter app called Spin, so you can rent a scooter, but it is expensive. So please, if you're not gonna have a car with you on campus, please invest in electric scooters. They're like $200 to $300. They're worth it. I might get mine this last year. I don't know, and then give it to Tolu. I don't know. But okay, so this middle right here, this is a club called BCM. It is the Black Christian Ministries. Yes, on our campus, we have like a Black Christian club. We have like, little like, I guess you could call it Bible studies every Wednesdays. I don't really go to it because of classes, but they have like little fellowships on Wednesdays in the center. No, I said the middle one. Oh, okay, so the thing I don't know how it is for other school, but the thing is, even if the club is black related, don't be surprised if you see like a couple Asians or stuff, because every school doesn't like to discriminate, so not only black people are in black clubs. I will let you know. So you will see Asians and white people in black clubs, but it's just to not discriminate against anyone, so it is normal. So yes, that little guy there, he is part of the BCM. He is part of the BCM. He's Asian. I think he is part of the Black Christian Ministries. Yes, so also in this BCM, we're also part of the NSA as well. So this year, I'm going to be the event coordinator in my school's NSA. So yes, I'll be the one planning like the social events, like just trying to basically plan parties and stuff for our club. So yeah, most of the people here are also part of the NSA. We're just like a big community where it's like every black people supports every black related club. Like in the NSA, you will see Ethiopians, you will see African Americans, Nigerians, Cameroonians. Even in the EASA, which is the East African Student Association, you're gonna see different people there. So yes, I will not emphasize this enough. Please have your own circle of friends. Of course, yes, it is important to have like your other friends. Like right here, this was on my birthday. Those two girls are were my suite mates. The girl here, she's my actual roommate, and the other girl was the girl in the other room. So honestly, coming to that school, those two were my best friends. They were my roommates, but we were also like best of friends. Like we did everything together. We cooked together. We cleaned together. Everything was so much easier with them. I was blessed to have very good roommates because they were very hygienic. So I did not have any issue with them on like cleaning the apartment and stuff. We had our own duties, so we were able to get things done. What else? Oh, this is just like my iPad notes. For those who are going to be in STEM, I will let you know, please be prepared to take a lot of notes. Invest in an iPad. Please tell your parents or No, for real. Invest in an iPad. Get a refurbished one on Amazon for like $200. Invest in an iPad because I promise you, you don't want to be having papers in your lecture. In our class, I promise you, out of like 300 students, only like less than 100 people have notebooks. Everyone has an iPad because it is just so much easier to organize your notes because being a science student, you have so much notes to take. I mean, especially because like sometimes the professor talks too fast. So like all you just have to do is just be writing notes. And then it's like you have to always go back to those notes. And the good thing with iPads is, let's say for example, you're trying to look for like a specific topic, but you just don't know where exactly. On the specific note app you have, you can literally just press search, type the topic, and it just pops up. Unlike notebook where it's like you have to be flipping pages like, oh my God, where did I? Please invest in an iPad. From whether you're going to a CC or a 4-year, invest in an iPad. Either you save up, talk to your mom and dad, please invest in it. It will save you. It will save you in school. What else? Okay, I covered it, but okay, so this is okay, my school is beside the beach. So like if you go to certain places, like if you go to certain high top places, you can see the beach view. So this is the La Jolla Shores Beach by our school. And then the top over there, that's, I believe, okay, so in my school, we have this thing called the ABC LLC community, whatever. That's the African American Living Learning Community. That's basically a community where I believe it's for housing and just also other things too. It's basically something called Black housing where a lot of Black people can apply for this special housing, and then they are analyzed, and then they see if you're basically eligible to be under Black housing. So that housing over there, that is, I believe that is part of Black housing. Like probably 3-story buildings out of that is like part of Black housing. But the apartments in there are really nice. And this is like in the center of campus. The transfer housing I was in before was at the edge of campus, so like our view was the freeway. Like you don't even see the campus from our apartment. You have to literally walk at least 15 minutes before you're in the campus. So yeah, let me see. Oh, Nikki, can you scroll down a bit? I'm trying to show this. This is our school's library. Like this right here. This is the school's central library. It's called Geyser Library. That's what UCSD is known for. It is a 8-story building. Yeah, I think it's like 8-story building tall. It is very nice. It is very nice. The view there is spectacular. Especially when you go on the 8th floor, you can literally see the view of the whole school. It is so beautiful. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Yeah. And okay, so this is just some other things, I guess. Oh, so over here we have, I believe every spring quarter we have this event called Sun God Festival. The school calls it like the UC San Diego's Coachella. So it's basically like a little festival where like they invite famous like artists and stuff. Like I believe last year, oh my God, I remember they invited like this one famous rapper or something. I remember they tried to get Ice Spice, but they couldn't, something like that. I don't know. But they tried to get Ice Spice. They tried to get like different rappers or artists that are very popular among like people. But I guess they do little votes for who they want to come for the festivals. But yeah, it's like a little singing festival, and then they have rides. They have like a Ferris wheel. They have roller coasters literally at the back. I don't know how they do it. You know how state fairs are? That's literally it. Like they bring rides to the school. They bring rides to the school, and then they make like a huge like concert thing. That thing was built. I don't know how they did everything, but everything is built. They bring like trucks and everything to basically make it look like a mini Coachella area. That's just like the front. At the back, you see like Ferris wheel, roller coasters, and everything behind, and then food courts and food trucks there. So it gets very fun. Huh? Do you have to pay? No, you don't have to pay. As long as you have your student ID card, I guess you go to like Eventbrite and stuff, then you sign up, and then you need to have like a specific ticket for you to enter. And they of course, they have to do thorough searching so that they make sure like you don't have anything illegal on you. So yeah, sometimes just don't take a bag there. It's just like how you're going to like an actual concert where it's like they say, oh, you can only take like this little purse with you to the concert. that is the same thing here. Like, just, yeah. And sometimes it's like color coded, like, oh, you wear white, or you can go wild with your makeup and stuff. It gets really fun. I honestly, like, I won't lie, I didn't really do a lot last year because it was my first year transferring. So like all my brain was in is just study, 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 study. So I won't lie, like most times I'll be putting like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. studying in the library. Yes, like 12. Yes, Starbucks. The Starbucks days. Yes, I literally put like 12 hours studying, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. at least once every 2 weeks, I believe. I did like 12 hours studying at least once every 2 weeks just so I can get my things done. And just like how they said, do not procrastinate when you're in college. Please do not. Like, you might think like, oh, this thing is due in 2 weeks. Do it now. Because before you blink, you have like 16 assignments due in the next 2 weeks. Like, as you're doing assignments, the professor will just bring in more. So please, if you have the chance to do ones that are 2 weeks early, please do it. Do not procrastinate whatsoever. Okay, it's covering, but yeah, this is our little NSA thing. Most of them were in the board last year. Some of them are still on the board. But yeah, that is the NSA. And yeah, so far so good. That is it. Any questions? No questions? Okay, TJ.
Like when you transferred to UCSD, right?
Mhm.
UCSD. Like, what were the process? Like, what were the processes? to
Oh, the
transfer?
process. Okay. Okay, for mine, the process was very tedious. I will not lie. Like, transitioning from CC to UCSD was kind of tedious because they'll ask you for so much paperwork. Like, they'll ask you for things both from your high school and your CC. So it's like things that you didn't even think you needed from high school, you're going to need it. So if you're going to CC, please still save your high school transcripts. Save your high school achievements. Save everything like you like everything that you might possibly need from high school as if you're transferring to a 4-year. Save them because they're going to ask you for that when you're transitioning from like a CC to a 4-year. And I remember they also asked, of course, for like your CC transcript. Just like how Tinu said, please try to reach for like a 3.4 GPA and above, because a lot of schools, I believe that's like their like the least GPA that they expect of you. It's usually like 3.5 and above or 3.4 and above. Some do say 3.0 and above, but try and get above a 3.0 because sometimes those schools will not, like they will not take a 3.0. But aside from like your GPA, they also look at like, you know, your past achievements, like how involved you were in with like community service or school activities and everything. They also do that. Assist.org, Tinu? Assist.org, is that it? Yeah, assist.org for transfers, that's going to be your best friend. So please, with every class you take, make sure you go to assist.org and search up whatever school is of your interest and make sure you're taking the classes that your school requires. Because I remember, I think my counselor in CC made a mistake. She told me to take a specific English, but then I remember my last semester at CC, I went again to check with the counselor, and then they told me like, oh, why did you take this English? You're meant to take this one instead. And this was when the semester already started. So I had to scurry through and look for another English class to take. It's like I did not even know what to do. And the thing is, I was so confused, but honestly, it was all God that really helped me because I don't know how I found an English class that was starting late semester, but I did. But yes, assist.org is going to be your best friend. So please look into that if you're going to be a CC or even just high school. Assist.org is going to help you to like show you like classes that you need for certain majors that you're going to be in certain schools. So look into that. For STEM majors, especially those who are trying to be under biology, please check if your school requires you to take physics. Because they all do. Okay, no, because for UCSD, it's not required, but just do it. In your CC, do physics and do the supplementary. Guys, listen. For those who are doing CC, there's physics classes and then there's supplementary physics classes. Take both of them. Don't be like me. Yes, they're not, okay, they're just like 2 credit classes. They're not so hard. They're just like extra classes to help you for the physics. But take those supplementary classes, because if you don't take the supplementary classes, your physics is not going to transfer over. So you're going to repeat your physics. That's why I'm suffering. Yes, because my school did not require, so UCSD was my top school. I was able to get in. But the thing with UCSD was, it wasn't required for me to take physics, but I just wanted to take it either way to just get it out of the way. And then when I transferred over, there was just so many complications with like, oh, I didn't complete my physics. I literally did not know what was going on, but I have to retake physics. I'm in my last set now. Yeah. No, that's good. Oh. Yeah, but okay, that was it for my transitioning from CC to UCSD. But just like how Toby said, if you do have additional questions about CC life or just the transitioning, you can talk to me, Toby, or Tinu, and we're always here to help. Thank you.
Yeah, you can be eating. Hello? Hi. Yeah. Can somebody just pass it around? Yeah. All right. So I just want to take like 10 minutes of your time, okay? So just pay attention. The discussion I want to have with you might not be related to college, but it's very important, okay? And I would like to start with a question. Why do you go to college? Yeah, why do you go to college? Yeah. Like, why do you, yeah, why do you choose to go to college in the first place?
To get a job, I guess.
To
in
get
the
a job,
future,
good.
Or to reach your future goals.
So who believes that? You know, just raise your hand. If your reason is to get a job, just raise your hand. If you are not raising your hand, I'm going to ask you what's your reason. So you don't have your hand up. Derek, how about you? Tolu? Oh, you raised yours. So everybody believes that the reason to go to college is to get a job, right? You don't believe that? Okay. So, what's your reason? To further their education? And
their knowledge.
So what's the goal? Okay, for knowledge. What kind of knowledge? What do you want to do with the knowledge?
Okay, like things we need, to help out.
Use the mic, please.
Things we need to help out in the world with, like, nurses, doctors, dentists, things that are actually needed for human beings,
So it's to get a job.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, not to get a job.
Okay.
Not to get a job.
Okay, to help the community.
To further your education. That's
okay,
that's
to
just
further
it.
your
I don't think you should do it for a job. You can learn economics.
Okay. All right. So basically, most of you said to get a job. Basically to get money, right? To make money. More knowledge. Yeah. But you can also get knowledge anywhere, even from YouTube, right? College, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So, like, I don't think that's what we meant. Like, when we said we want to get a job, like, what I meant, yeah, what I meant was that, like, we go to college to meet our future goals, I guess.
To meet your future goals.
Yeah.
So you believe going to college is what helps you to
Yeah.
make
I
your future, to meet your future goals.
in an educational
So
sense,
without
and,
education, you can't meet your future goals.
no.
Really?
Like, it's a requirement. If you want to be a teacher, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a researcher, you have to go to college. Like, you have to go to college, and basically education should be like your priority for the moment before you get a job, I guess. And even if you're a researcher, huh? Yeah, like, you should just get.
So who believe going to college is for you to make money in life and take care of yourself, even though that you are meeting your goals? Okay. Let me read the statistics. Okay. To help us understand a few things. Okay. So just pay attention. I'm not going to take your time. Okay. Now listen to these statistics, okay? Says only 27.3% of college graduates work in the field of their degree. Okay? 62.1% of college grads don't work in their major field, right? 38% of people with a bachelor's degree say they would have chosen a different major. 38%. 48% of college grads with humanitarian or arts degree say they would have studied something different. Only 24% of those with engineering degrees say they wish they had studied something different. 84% of college grads have trouble finding work. 84%. 84%. That is like 8 out of 10. They find it difficult getting a job, even with their grad, you know. No, I'm coming to my point. 40% of recent college grads have had to lower salary expectation. 34% of college grads could have been hired in their current jobs without getting a degree. Does it make sense? Do you believe that? Do you believe most of these statistics? All right. So my point is this, you know. I didn't study here in the United States. So I got my fourth degree in Nigeria, in mechanical engineering. And I got my master's in the United Kingdom, University of Liverpool. But I came to the United States, and I was told a couple of things, but I did all those things they told me, and I got a job. But in the job I got, hey, are you guys listening? This is very important because at the end of the day, you know, the end goal of any college is to get a job and to earn money. Hello? Are you guys here? Hello? Hey, please just pay attention. It's very important. Okay? The end of your college degree is to get a job, to earn money, and also to fulfill your dreams. these three reasons. Okay? I can tell you whether you believe it or not, right? You'll still get a job. You want a job. You will need a job. And in a job market, oftentimes it's not what we are told in the college. It's what you're going to meet when you are looking for a job. It's a different ball game. Okay? I've had opportunity to work in different companies. But one thing I can tell you is this. There are many employees without a degree. Are you listening? There are so many folks without a degree that make money more than a medical doctor in this country. Does that surprise you? It does surprise you. Without degrees. Without degrees. Yeah. More than. Yeah, I'll come pick on. Yes. Yes. No, I said there are people who make money more than a medical doctor without a degree.
I know, it's terrible.
So, no, not necessarily like employees, you know. I know some time ago a colleague was telling me he didn't have a degree. Maybe he had community college, certificates. By September he was already making like 200 grand. Yeah. Meaning that he was going to make even more than that by December in a 12 calendar month. So the point I'm trying to make is, if your goal is to make money at the end of your career, at the end of your college degree,
right,
then you need to look beyond what the school is offering. You don't have to study XYZ course because you want to make big amount of money. Any career can give you any kind of money, depending how much you work hard, how much you invest in yourself. The most important thing is for you to invest in yourself. So going to college is investing in yourself. So let me repeat it again. Going to college is investing in yourself. Whatever you invest in yourself takes you a long way. And secondly, my second point is this. When you finish your college degree, you obtain your certificate, you go to work. You're going to meet millennials. You're going to meet baby boomers. You're going to meet Gen Z. You're going to meet everybody. So your character, your attitude, your behavior, matters. So when you go to college, right, one of the things you have to learn, apart from your curriculum, is good attitude. Because good attitude is what takes you beyond your widest dreams. In my place of work, young people don't really stay because they find it very, very uncomfortable working 9 to 5. I know sometimes it sucks. It's not easy sitting down from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's not easy. I know many of you might not be able to do that, I find it difficult too. So it's common. But discipline is what helps you. So one of the things you have to learn in college is discipline. It's 20% of your curriculum, your math, your English, your science, whatever. It's 20%. 80% is personal development. 80% is personal development. So when you go to college, while you pay attention to pass your examinations, also engage on things that will develop you, which is 80%. And I hope that when you graduate, we'll probably be meeting in the same industry. Right? We are going to meet in the same industry. You're even going to see people far older than you in the industry. And everybody has to behave the same.
I do have some things I want to say.
Say it again.
I do have some things I want to say.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm eating the pizza right
Yeah. So Q&A. I mean, I'm done with a few things that I wanted to say, but because I'll be leaving right now. Yes, for my own section. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm ready now.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was I was telling these two here, and I don't really remember his name, but I met him multiple times. But what I do know is, I was letting them know, like, a man, it says in the Bible, a man without vision will perish. And I was telling you about school. You were just saying, like, we go to school for, money and a job, right? Well, if you look at most of the professors that's in school, none of them are really millionaires or billionaires. So that's one thing right there. It's not really, I don't think the school stuff is really about a job, because you don't see any millionaires or people driving up to the school in Lamborghinis and, Rolls Royces and things like that. You don't see that at school.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think God made schools and things like that is for, like I said, destiny. Glory to glory. That's something that you go to see where you're going to basically, what is your purpose here on earth? And that's why I was asking, the doctor, whatever, I know she's like, I forgot the two that was just, they was just up there. I forgot her name, the two that I was just talking to.
You mean Tinu? Or Rejoice?
Yeah, I believe so. Them right there. And I basically just asked them, like, I just want to make sure they're not being deceived. I'm making sure, like, it's very important to be led by the Holy Spirit of purpose that God wants you to go. Because if you're not in God's will, if you're not aligned with God's will, He's going to be the one that's, taking you to glory, greatness to greatness. And if you're doing it in your own will, walking in the flesh, you can be deceived. So it is very important to, be going to school off vision, But on the other hand, you're not going to get rich. You can try all day long. You might hit like what, 2 million. A doctor makes 200, 300K, 400K a year. 10 years, what? That's like what, 5 million. But you're not going to get 100 million, 50 million. You're not going to get in the big. And I don't think you really want to get there, get to that point. But you want to, live freedom in life. God wants us all to live a great life, victorious life. So yeah, that's what I really have to say about school, is just have a vision.
Yeah.
You can be rich and perish, without you can be rich without a vision.
Please, if you're outside and you have grabbed something, just come inside, please. All right, any other question? So one of the things I also observed is that none of you was writing something. And maybe a few of you are writing in your phones, but majority of you are not writing. And I don't think it's a good one. Anytime somebody is speaking to you, right, you need to have a writing materials. So jot down, put down highlights so that you can go back and assimilate what you have heard. All right? So thank you very much. And thanks to everyone who has said something. Thank you.
Okay. I know the moment you've been waiting for. Dang, dang, dang. No, I'm playing. Can you guys hear me from in there? Oh, no one acknowledged, so no, they can't. It's okay. For the people who are here, dang, I really want, like some people I feel like need to get this. Can you guys come inside? Yeah, this is the last one. Yeah, it's condensed, so it's not going to be too much. But there's no one here. It's becoming quick. Aw, I like it up here. Okay, so I went to an HBCU outside of the States. So I'm going to speak on my experience being outside of the state because I feel like we haven't gotten that perspective yet. So basically, what I'm starting with is to get involved in college prep courses or clubs or extracurriculars now before you even get there. So the reason I even was able, okay, well, before I get there. So I was in a college prep Saturday school, per se. So we meet one Saturday a month, and it's called College Bound. And through College Bound, we gain a lot of opportunities to connecting the bridge between high school and college and getting straight there with a whole bunch of scholarships, opportunities, and things of that nature. So College Bound was really good for me, even though I hated it because I literally had to take out a Saturday of my month, my very busy high school month. I was missing track meets. I was very upset, but looking back, it was a great investment because it prepared me for college and it gave me a lot of opportunities going to college. So in College Bound, they were connected with the school that I went to, Lincoln University in Missouri, and they pick a select number of students to apply to the honors college, and their application fee is waived. So basically, I didn't have to pay to apply to the school, which is really good because, like, when you look at it, you're applying to multiple schools. So you're paying, like, hundreds of dollars to apply to a school you might not even get into. But I had the opportunity to apply without having to pay. And so I applied to the honors college, and I got a full ride scholarship in the honors program studying nursing. Woo, woo, woo. Yes. My dream school was Howard University in Washington, D.C. I got into Howard, so I was very, very ecstatic about that. However, they was not talking no money. They weren't talking about nothing. They were like, yeah, Howard is expensive. At the time that I was going, it was about $65K a year. And I was so excited because I really wanted to go to an HBCU. I had the dream that, I'm going to go there. I'm going to learn more about my culture. I'm going to meet more people because I was raised around a lot of, like, Hispanics and white people. I mean, my group was mostly Hispanic and black people, but it was just to see more of my people. And so I was really excited to go to an HBCU. So I had got into Howard. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to Howard. Like, I don't know who's going to pay for it, but I'm going. And so I was really sitting there and weighing my options because someone was telling me, be smart about this because the debt is going to fall onto you. Your parents take the loan, cool, but when you graduate, the government's like, nah, you're paying for this. So they put it onto you. And then if you don't pay, the IRS is coming for you. They're taking your paycheck. Like, it's not a joke. When you get paid, everything is through the government. So when you get paid, they're like, oh, we're taking taxes out. You know how they take taxes out of all your payments? Out of all your checks. They're going to take your check. So it's like, here's enough to live. Yeah, they're going to take the whole check. Here's enough to live, but the rest is ours because you went to school. Yeah, you went to go better yourself. How dare you? You're going to pay for that. So I was like, okay, like, let me think about, going to, I also applied to a whole bunch of different schools. Most of them were out of the state. I did not want to be here. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to be free. My friends used to call me the Black Cinderella because I could never go anywhere because I was cleaning. So it was literally like, you just cleaned the house last weekend. How can you not come out? You literally just cleaned. So why are you cleaning again? I don't know. He wants us to clean this. She wants me to clean that. Blah, blah, blah. And so I never got the opportunity to go out. High school was raps for me. Like, It wasn't no come back when the clock strikes 12. It was come back before or right when school ends. So I was like, okay, great. So I wanted to leave so bad because I'm like, no, I want some freedom. And so weighing my options, I did campus visits. I went to Spelman. I went to Morehouse. I think there's only 2 schools that I applied to that I did not get into. I got into like all the HBCUs I was looking for, like Spelman. I got into Lincoln University, which is an HBCU in the school that I actually went to. I got into Howard, so forth and so on. So I was sitting, I was weighing my options, and I was telling my aunt, like, no, I'm going to Howard, I don't care. And she was like, okay, like, just know there comes a lot of responsibility with going to Howard and putting yourself in debt. So I was like, okay, let me really sit and think about this. I was like, Auntie, fine, I'll go to Lincoln. Like, I don't want to go there, but I'll go, fine. And she's like, no, it'll be a really good opportunity, especially because the nursing program was top 3 at the time that I was applying, and I got a full ride. So I was like, that makes the most sense. Like, it's a good program. It's an HBCU still. It's away from home still. And I'm not going to have to pay for nothing. So I have gone to school. And okay, it's really important to get involved when you're in school as well, because that's how you build your resume, for one, and then that's how you build connections and opportunities and networking as well. So you can meet someone who can get you a job when you graduate. You can meet someone who, and that's why they always say it's so important to get to know your professors, because knowing your professor is the difference between a 69% and a 70%, between failing and passing the class. You can literally know your professor and you've done everything that you could do, and you have a 69%, they're like, you know what? It's okay, I understand what you're going through. I'm just going to go ahead and bump you up. That professor doesn't know you. You've been causing a ruckus in class. You haven't been coming to class. You don't care. It doesn't look like you put in any effort. They're going to keep you at that 69. Oh, I promise you. And you're going to fail. And you're going to be so upset with yourself because you just paid for a class in full that you have to pay for again. Like, you have to retake that class, especially if it's within your major. But yes, it's very important to get involved. So I was in a club called Flight, Future Leaders in Training. And basically what we did was we were building leadership skills. We were teaching about history, Black history, our campus's history, and things of that nature. I was also in Roundtable, which was connecting between different HBCUs and being able to have events between different HBCUs and networking and getting an understanding of all the things that the world offers for us. And then I'm the only one who is in a Greek letter sorority. So I am in the Divine Nine, and if you don't know what the Divine Nine is, it's only the Black fraternities and sororities. And so I am a Delta. I'm in Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So many people, you need to join for the right reason. Let's start there. So many people join because it looks fun, or they want the popularity. You literally have to join for the reason in which the sorority was created for. So it's really important, and then men, you're in fraternities. But it's very important to do your research and understand what it is in that the fraternity or sorority has to offer, and not what it just looks like. Because when I first went to school, I saw them strolling, which is what you see them doing. Like, they're in a line and they're dancing and doing their calls and stuff like that. So chill. But yeah. And also Divine Nine, they take it very serious as well. So don't go and start calling their calls and throwing up their hand signs, because they do get physical sometimes. I'm not speaking for my sorority, but I know some frats, some sororities, they don't like that because they had to go through a lot of things in order to obtain that, like, you know, trying to figure out money, trying to figure out to pay for the sorority and admission. They also had to, you know, incorporate learning about their sorority with incorporate learning about their sorority with school and things of that nature. So there's a lot of sacrifice when it comes to getting into a sorority. But it is really important to not just do it for fun and do it for the right reason. And my sorority, we are focused on social change. We're a public service organization. So a lot of things we do are community outreach. And that was something that was really important to me. Not only that, but also having a sisterhood, having some people who I know will stick beside me regardless. Like, y'all say I'm gonna stick beside them. But yes, so joining clubs, joining sororities, joining fraternities, it's very important to do your research before. And it's also very important to do your research on the program that you're going into. And when we say do your research, it's not just look up what the school says, because the school is not going to paint themselves bad. The program is not going to paint themselves bad. You need to ask people their experiences, and from there you get the opportunity to know, is this something for me that I can fit into? Is this something for me that I can grow into? Or is this going to hold me back? Is this going to be a setback? So that's very important in my experience, because I was a nursing student, full ride. I was supposed to be there for 4 years. My junior year, I was not paying attention in class. I was so tired. I didn't feel like doing it. I was tired because I was partying. I was tired because I was out late, and I had class at 8 in the morning from 8 to 12. So it's like, what are you doing? You have class for 4 hours and 8 in the morning, and you're getting in the house at 3. What's happening? So that was me. And all that is to say, it's very important to have a firm foundation before you go to college. The temptation in the world is so much. It's so hard, like so very hard. And they will suck you in because it looks so good. It looks so fun. But you have to realize that the principles that God has outlined in the Bible are for a reason, because the world can really take you from the view of from his view, and then you're now stuck in the world, and you're falling into depression and anxiety because you don't have all your ducks in a row. Like, you're trying to juggle so much at one time. Yeah, so very important to have a firm foundation. But yes, I was, outside. I was outside. And I was not supposed to be outside. I was supposed to be inside studying. I had a pharmacology class that I could have passed with flying colors on the first try. I took that class 3 times. And I failed every single time because I didn't study. I was like, it's going to make sense when I get there. Then I got to the test, and they're like, this patient has high blood pressure, and they've been eating all this food. Which medication should you give them? And it's not, give them Tylenol, give them ibuprofen. You're now looking at, like, different medications you have never heard of. Like, you're looking, so everyone, well, not everyone, but people know what acetaminophen is. But when you, exactly. So they won't give you, they won't tell you it's Tylenol. They'll give you the scientific name. So I'm like, hold on, y'all could have made this easier for me, but it's not going to be easier when I get to nursing. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's leaking. Okay. But, ooh. Oh, no. All right. But, yeah. Ooh, that threw me off. I don't even, what was I talking about? Acetaminophen, yes. So I had failed pharmacology 3 times because I was not paying attention. I was not studying. I thought it was just going to make sense when I got there, and it did not. And so I had to change my major. I was literally forced to change my major because first of all, God's grace is sufficient. Like, so when you take the course, if you fail any nursing course, you have one more time to fail a course before they suspend you from the program for 5 years. 5 years. So I failed pharmacology twice. I said, whoa, God doesn't want me to be a nurse. It's okay. You know what? It's fine. The whole time I wasn't even thinking about God. My relationship with God was non-existent. I did not create that firm foundation before I went to school, so it was very easy for me to fall into temptation, which I did, and I don't regret it because it's an experience that brought me to where I am today. However, if you do create that firm foundation before, it's so much easier to say no and keep your mind and your heart set on the things that God has created you for. But yeah, I had to change my major, so I changed it from nursing to wellness with an emphasis in health promotion. And it's like nursing, but not as focused. But I knew in my heart I still wanted to be a nurse. So currently I am sifting through my prerequisites. I'm applying to schools for my master's in nursing. So please keep me in your prayers, because it's really a lot. And then they also give you a time frame as to when your prerequisites expire. So I started college next year. It's going to be 7 years ago. I know that's so long, but your prerequisites for the class that I'm about to, or for the school I'm about to go into, the program I'm about to get into, they expire at 7 years. So I literally have to apply next year. So there's also a prerequisite that I didn't take, which is chemistry with chemistry lab, just the general one. I took OChem, I took AP Chem, I took Autumn Chems. But I need general chemistry. And I didn't take it because I passed my AP chemistry exam. But like graduate schools, they don't care nothing about that. They said, we want the class. So I have to take the class at a community college in the spring. So like they said, it's very important to stick with a counselor who knows what they're doing and they want to see you succeed. Because some people will lead you astray, and it's not always on purpose. Sometimes it's on accident. They just don't know what they're doing, so they just tell you what they think what is right, and it's not always right. But yes, so I had to change my major, which made me go from 4 years to 5 years in college. And between my fourth and my fifth year, I was depressed. I was so depressed, to the point where I didn't care about anything. I was drinking because the sun was out. I just drank because I passed a gas station. I drank because I had gas in my car. I literally was just drinking myself into depression. And it was to the point where I didn't necessarily care about what was gonna happen in the future. I would stay in my room for days, weeks, not come out, not go to class. Like, I just didn't care. And it took a professor to pull me out and be like, what's wrong? Like, going to an HBCU is amazing, especially if you have black teachers at the HBCU, because they're gonna treat you like your child. She was like, girl, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? You're not your normal self. I'm always in class. I'm the one talking, like answering questions, asking questions, my bubbly self. And I had stopped being like that. I had stopped coming to class. And she's like, what's even going on? What's happening? Like, talk to me. We need to work through this because you're not going to graduate on the path you're on. You're not going to graduate. So I made a promise to her that I would do better. And that's why I said it's so important to get to know your professors. Because my professor, there was one class I needed to graduate. And the spring that I was going to graduate, they did not offer the class. And I found out halfway through my fall semester. So it's literally like you either have to wait an extra year to graduate, so be there for 6 years in this life. Rah, I refuse. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, Miss Mosley, I cannot, I really need your help. She's like, you know what, I'm going to teach this, I'm going to open this course for you. She opened the course to teach only me. I was the only one in that class. And that's literally God's grace. Like, it's just God's grace. He's like, he will locate you every single time in favor. So it's very important to stay focused on God. And still at that time, I was still not focused on God. So I gained the opportunity to graduate after 5 years. Long story short is to research your clubs, your involvement, but also to research your program and get to know from other people their experiences so you can understand, is this something I can grow into? Is this something for me? And nursing is for me, but that nursing school was not for me. So I knew that and switched my major. God is so good. And so now, coming out of college, I graduated with my Bachelor's of Science in Wellness with an emphasis in health promotion, May 2022. Woo! So I am a degreed babe, but I want to further my education. I want to become a labor and delivery nurse. Well, I will become a labor and delivery nurse. I will further my education. So just keep me in your prayers for that. But it's very important to keep your mind stayed on God, because the Bible says that focus first on the kingdom of heaven and everything else will be added on to you. So if you keep your eyes stayed on him, you submit all your ways to him, there's no way you can fall short. There's no way that you can fail your courses year after year after year if you're submitting it to God. Lord, I want to do good in this. I need to study. Give me the energy. Give me the refreshing sleep that I need so I can wake up tomorrow for this test and excel. And then from there, let God do the work as well. So once you do all that you can do, all that God has ordained you to do in that situation, let him have it. Just give it to him and don't fall into temptation. There's so many. It looks fun to drink. I promise it's not, because you will become dependent on it. The more you drink, the more you take, oh, okay, let me drink here and there. Okay, let me drink like every party. Let me drink every weekend. Let me drink every day. Let me drink in class. I can still hold myself. There are people who do that. Yeah, there are people who do that. And it's very important to stay focused. And then also, another thing that is run rampant in our generation is marijuana. It's actually very scary because so many people put this thing called K2 in marijuana. You can get it from your friend and they don't even know that there's K2 in it, but they gave it to you and now you're dead. So no, it's actually not a joke. So it's very, very important if you can to stay, well, I pray that you take heed to stay away. K2, it's like a psychedelic drug, I believe. Sometimes people put too much in it. Like they want an extra feeling off of the marijuana, so they put the K2, but like it might be too much for your body. Your body's not used to it, or you have alcohol in your system as well, and now you've smoked the marijuana with K2 on top of it. Your body can literally shut down. Your heart can go into failure. So your lungs can collapse. So you're literally sitting there and you're like, I can't breathe, and no one can do anything. Your lungs are collapsing. What are they supposed to do? So it's best to just take heed and don't fall into those things, because I mean, it is fun. Not the K2, but I mean, it is fun to, watch other people, like, and you're like, oh, okay, you know what? I just one time, that one time could be that one time. It can literally be that one time. So definitely take heed to it and ask questions as well. So if like people are telling you not to do it, ask their experiences. That's why I feel like it's really important that I do share my experience, because when I tell you I was in the world, I wasn't in the world. I was the world. Like, I was literally, it was real bad. That's why I don't have any pictures for you guys. I can't even show them in church. Like, I was a bad girl. Yeah, bad girl. Yeah, bad girl. But we thank God that I'm here. I'm safe. I'm healthy. I made it through. God is good. I graduated. But yes, keep me in your prayers. If you guys if you have any questions, if you guys need any encouragement in Christ, I'm here for you. I will give you the raw and the real. I also have a podcast called Pray Different Podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. I give you the raw and the real of me reaching for Christ's heart. So love you guys. Bye.
Thank you, guys. For those who stuck it through, you're real, for real. But thank you for coming. Thank you to the speakers today who shared their experiences. Amazing, amazing people. Shout out to Rejoice. Shout out to Faithful. Shout out to Tinu. Shout out to Nico. Yeah. And shout out to me. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the guy who got the food, that guy right there. But we're going to go ahead and end here. If you have any questions, meet us outside of this, and I would love to answer your questions. But thank you guys for coming. I really hope that you learned a lot. And, so I guess we'll just close this out in a little prayer, and then we'll be on our way, okay? All right, so Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this session. We thank you, Lord, that you've imparted in us knowledge. Lord, we ask, oh God, that you help us to understand and to apply it and turn it into wisdom, God, that as these youth start to apply, whether juniors or seniors, that God, you lead them. As we've learned today, it's not just about getting the job, but it's also about passion. It's also about building ourselves. I pray, oh God, that you lead every single one of them to the school, not just that they desire, but the ones that they are supposed to be in Jesus' name. Thank you, Heavenly Father, as we're going home our separate ways. Let us go home safely and be back here tomorrow for Sunday, bright, sharp, and early, in Jesus' name. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you, guys.